can understand what I explain. The problem is that when you have the exam, the English language that they use is quite a higher level English level. Okay, so some people have problem with understanding. So I advise you, if you can read well all the material, to get practice on exam, because I believe that this is a problem sometimes, is the language that they use that is a bit complicated. But we can try to do some examples of the exam. Okay. Yes. Okay. So interrupt me anytime you need. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's start, and then we can understand. Okay. So as I was saying to you, this course is especially for the supervisors. And what people want from a supervisor is that they are leading by example. So you will have to be having the best practices, obviously, when preparing and around the food, and preparing and serving food if it's necessary, or your practices have to be the most correct, because this is the people they're going to look to the supervisor, the most experienced, how they do things, no? So you have to lead by example. Then perhaps you have less experienced people that come to work, which is basic level 1, and you need to explain why do you need to do certain things. So why do we need to wash hands after going to the toilet? Well, because when we are in the toilet, we can contaminate with feces and urine. Bacteria gets in our hands. If we don't wash them properly, we can pass it into the food, and then we can make people ill by passing bacteria by not washing hands. So you will be expected to give small trainings, or perhaps when you see staff doing the wrong thing, you have to retrain them. If they are, for example, cleaning something and then afterwards they're not rinsing, they could leave chemicals on food contact surfaces. So they need to rinse any contact surfaces to not leave contamination of chemicals for the food, let's say a chopping board. So you have a lot of responsibility, because you are have to lead by example, you have to do some training, you have to also supervise your staff and perhaps do some retraining. Now, another mission that you have is that you are part of what we call HACCP. I don't know if you heard about HACCP. You know about HACCP. Okay, HACCP is this system that is to do with food safety and prevents food. It prevents from hazards or dangers going into the food and causing food poisoning or other illnesses or injuries. So, because you are the most experienced in the team, you will have to be part of the team creating the controls of the hazard. We're going to learn now, okay? But you will be expected to be a very important part of the team. You can obviously divide the work among your workers, because what is HACCP? HACCP entitles to take a lot of records. Monitoring fridges, monitoring cooking temperatures, monitoring the cleaning, monitoring the training. So perhaps you're not going to do everything yourself. Maybe you have to have some people helping you with the cleaning, or people helping you with taking temperatures of the fridges, or people helping you with the deliveries. But you are, as part of the team, be aware of the controls and perhaps do the supervision role, okay? Now, also, visually checks on the staff hygiene. If you see people not cleaning hands after smoking, or touching the food inadequate, no? Touching the food should be minimum, or sneezing on top of the food. Things, bad practices that you observe, you will be expected to correct. So quite a lot of responsibilities and quite a lot of responsibilities on yourself, okay? So why are you a key element of this hazard team? Because this hazard team can be formed with people with less experience than others, but you will be giving your experience to the team. No? So you are a key component of this hazard team, okay? Because your experience. Now, this hazard system, which is translated in English as hazard analysis and critical control points. Okay, this is a set of procedures that we put in place in any food business to prevent food from getting people food poisoning or injuries. Okay, so if we follow this system, we should process food safe to eat. Okay, that will help us to minimize the risk. We don't always eliminate them 100%, but we'll minimize to a reasonable level. Okay, now this hazard, we can just not say, oh well, yes, I know about this, I'm doing it more or less, and we will forget about it. No, no, because by law we are required to document it. That's a very important point. We have to do the correct thing, but also document it for the inspectors that come along, or in case there is a food poisoning, we can show our records and see that we done the good practices, and we done our best to control the critical control points, and we done the correct practice. So this hazard system is thought for controlling the hazards, we'll see now, and most important, that is got to be documented, okay? And always, even if we split it in different people, because you're not going to be the only one controlling everything. So you can split deliveries, for example, or monitoring fridges, or monitoring the cleaning. But all of these, at the end of the day, we will call them critical control points, depending of the point being more critical or not for food safety. But the thing is that will have to be documented, and somebody will have to supervise them. Because what's happened is, okay, let's say I open a restaurant and I'm the owner. I don't know anything about food safety. I hire people that know. I hire yourself. You're going to be my supervisor. And then I hire some trained waitress or some trained chef assistant. This can be taking the records with you. But if at the end of the day, they are not completing the records correctly, this system doesn't work. So somebody has to supervise their job, either myself or you, as you delegated a supervisor. If I delegate on you this job, you have to, at the end of the day, check their records and see that they are completed and they are correct, and they do not forget to do anything, or that they are inside the limits that we want. Because maybe what's happened, if you check the records at the end of the day, and a worker has written, fridge was running at 12 degrees. Wait a minute, why you not told me? No. Well, then maybe you have to check that fridge and decide what to do with the contents, because if the worker at 8 o'clock has checked that the fridge wasn't working and she's not told you, it's been all day without the correct temperature, then that food cannot be used, because the food inside all day without the temperature has gone above temperatures and has to be discarded. So it is very important that there is a supervision. And this normally, it is the supervisor that does this. They can take the temperature, but then somebody more experienced has to supervise. Yes, everything is correct. Well done. We move on following them. Okay.
Can I ask you something?
Yes.
I want to clarify. The HASP, it's the system.
Yes.
With some basic measurements. Yeah,
yes.
Like fridge temperature and everything. But except of the 7 principles of the HASP. HASP, it's very individual for every kitchen.
Well,
The
but
HASP system.
yes, but you imagine, for example, let's see here, for example, I'm going to explain it to you. Let's see if I can find a flow diagram. I have it here. No, wait a second, because yes, it's good that we talk about that. Don't worry, this is just the introduction. We're going to talk more about HASP. I think you will have it clear, but
Okay.
I wanted to show you another document that I use.
And these documents you have, I don't
Yes,
know if...
they're all in the folder, but if not, I can send you the link. Don't worry. It's a little HASP document that is in training materials, I'm sure. But
okay.
so many documents sometimes that it is difficult. Just a second. I gone off the screen now.
Of course, sure, no problem.
We have time because it's just you and me, so we can do it properly.
Yeah, and I have some questions.
Yes. Carry on. I wasn't looking for this document.
Okay, perfect. So one of my question is, and I have been now speaking with one of my chefs in the kitchen.
Yes.
He's a breakfast chef, and he was very upset because he have to put the eggs on the plastic container on a specific drawer for eggs. And he was like, oh, why in the supermarket they put the eggs with no plastic container and with no fridge?
Yeah, well, that is because the supermarket normally keeps the temperatures controlled. And this is because the supermarket is not hot, because they keep things around maybe 20, 22. So it is not really very hot in a supermarket, correct?
So because of temperature, so they keep
Yes,
the eggs
yes,
outside of the
yes.
fridge because they monitor the
They
temperature.
do it. Sorry, because I think they do it for a space as well. But yes, the eggs should be refrigerated for a longer preservation. And in the supermarket, they don't keep it for long. It's like in and out. But they are really in a certain temperature. You will not be looking at the eggs in a street market. That will be wrong, for example. Like living them outside in the hot weather, for example. No? But
Yes.
yes, yes, traditionally they're allowed to do that. Yes, but I think it is because of the temperature of the shop around 20s, 25s. They're not really, really warm, the supermarkets.
Mm-hmm.
They keep it
And
refrigerated in general. They have air conditioned, no? Maximum 25. And it's, yes.
sorry to interrupt you. There is no danger of getting salmonella in the other store if, for example, an egg breaks or someone just touch the egg in the supermarket and after touch a tomato.
Let me see again. When you touch a broken egg can have salmonella, of course. And then you touch another egg with a broken egg, you touch other eggs.
Yeah. And salmonella everywhere. That's why I'm asking for supermarkets, because they are not so strict as we are in the hotels, especially.
My God, but you will not. For example, I don't know, because where are you from? What nationality?
Greece.
Greece. Greece also very hot weather as well. Yes,
Yeah.
like Spain or even more. Well, here you will not find broken eggs in supermarkets.
Yeah, in Greece also.
But for example, they're even plasticized.
Yes.
Or in cartons.
Yes, in cartons or plastics.
Yes, if it breaks inside a carton, but not outside. You're concerned for the other eggs.
Sorry?
What's your concern? I don't understand what's the concern.
I am asking because in the hotel we need to have a certain fridge by HASP. for the eggs.
Yes, because but for example, yes, because you cannot contaminate by raw egg other things, correct? To avoid cross-contamination, correct? Yes, you're right. So if any broken egg, no broken egg with salmonella falls into the other products. But in the supermarket, normally eggs are kept together. They're not.
Yeah,
they're
I
not.
understand.
They're not dripping into other things.
That's the answer. So because of the controlled temperature in the supermarket, and
Yes.
secondly, because they are kept separated, they are not mixed.
Yes,
Yeah.
also if an egg breaks, they have these cartons that are more or less absorbent. They don't drip. If they drip, they should need to clean everything, obviously. Otherwise, we should to remove it. But yes, I understand. But they make you keep the egg separate because of juices could fall of raw egg could fall into other things and then be not this way spreading salmonellosis. No.
Perfect. So I have the answer for my breakfast chef. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Yes. Okay. No, it's because I wanted to go to. No, it's because I am so annoyed that has. Wait a minute. No, it's because I've got another screen here, and I'm very annoyed that I cannot find my HACCP. No, it's just a little booklet that sometimes clarifies things because you were saying about the process.
Yes. And I'm asking because I was working in a hotel in Greece. We have Greek Hotel. It's a very big hotel chain, 30 hotels.
Yes, yes. You have inspectors they are paid by the hotel, like myself, like auditors that come around, yeah?
Yes.
They check the hotel catering facilities, no?
Yes, exactly. And I was working also on catering and stuff. So we have a specific HACCP plan for each hotel, like 37 processes or papers I have to fill, like everything.
Yes, you're right. About HACCP, this is a little booklet, but HACCP was invented by NASA to prevent the contamination during the special trips at the beginning of the 1960s when they were going to the first voyages to the moon. They were very scared, NASA, that astronauts get food poisoning with the suit because before they didn't used to remove the suit. So they were thinking, how can we do it to make very safe for the astronauts? So they created this system with some food factories to create very safe processed food. And it was so successful that now is legislation by any kitchen or restaurant or even any catering business, vending machines or food trucks, they have to have HACCP in place, okay? I'm going to make it here big. But I was going to say, any kitchen, here's the picture I was looking for.
Yes.
Okay, maybe your HACCP can be having different documents, but the flow of doing food, more or less, is a standard. Yes. So when you are preparing food in the kitchen, you always need to purchase food. You have to have some deliveries accepted. Then you have to store it at different temperatures or ambient, depending. Then you go into preparing. Preparing can be slightly different depending on the type of food that you're preparing. If you prepare sushi, it will be prepared and served because it's raw. But then or a sandwich, service is also a step. Or you can prepare, cook, then chill, then reheat later. Or prepare, cook, and serve chill. So you have all the different possibilities. So every depending on what you do in your kitchen, you will have more steps. These we call them steps. Every step normally will have control measures. And some of them will end up with what we call critical control points. This is just some examples of points of no return. These critical control points, we call them critical because if you miss them is when you can cause an injury or illness or a death of somebody, like cooking, which is temperatures of cooking, or chilling after cooking, because if you want to do cooking, chilling, and reheating, this cooking and chilling has to be done fast and efficient. We cannot just left it food on the counter disattended because the food is warm, and it can, unless we are in a good restaurant, we can have a blast chiller. That makes the job very easy because this you drop it down very quickly. But if no, we'll have to take other methods. But this ideally should be no more than 2 hours. And like you and me, that we are in Spain or Greece that is very hot, you should get these times of food out of the fridge no more than an hour because it could be 40s in the streets, whatever. No? So these could be control points that you need to apply on your restaurant. No? And this, what HACCP is telling us is that need monitoring, but I'm starting a little bit by the end. But it doesn't matter the paperwork because the paperwork, everybody does their own paperwork slightly different, okay? But at the end of the day, we are fighting the same enemies. We'll see now in the course. Don't worry, because I'm going a bit ahead of myself, okay? We will be. I think I will be able to explain. Let's just start from again, just a second, and now I can catch you a little bit. Okay, so we have you as the, can you see again the presentation? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
now it's black.
No, I can. Let's see.
Yes, I'm trying to go to presentation mode. Yes, excellent. Okay. No, I don't know why it's not presenting. Wait a minute. Sometimes I have too many screens open.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, there, let's see why it's not happening now.
I think I can see like this. It's okay if it's not fully.
Because I want you to see it properly, don't worry.
Can I go to the toilet?
Yes, go to the toilet once and put it, yeah, no problem.
Thanks. Thank you.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so let's carry on again because I'm trying to give you also hints. So supervisor, very important role, very active member of the HACCP team with the recordings, but also with the supervision, correct? Yeah, and retraining. That's the main rules of supervisors. We have to have this HACCP by law. HACCP is a system to keep food safe and to prevent injuries when people are eating our food. This has a most important that is got to be a real document up to date. Okay, let's see. The chef is starting to do sous vide cooking. I don't know. I'm not a chef, but obviously their HACCP system has to be updated with the sous vide temperatures that he has to follow. So this system is what we call a live system. It needs to do a flow diagram, and the temperatures, the critical temperatures and the times will be different depending on the type of cooking. Or let's say I'm a Mediterranean restaurant and now I want to start doing sushi. Well, you need to do controls on the freezing of the fish for the anisakis before you can serve it, blah, blah, blah. So every food or every preparation will have their own flow diagram, and it could have different hazards associated with the type of food or the type of preparation I'm preparing in the kitchen. No? So this has to be up to date, documented, and also monitored by somebody giving the overall okay, supervisor. So not just to leave people, here are the records, you do your records and forget about it. No, because the law tells me I have to have a supervisor making sure everybody does their own job with the hazard, and I can show documentation. Okay, and this is to control these dangers or hazards before they get too danger, no? Too dangerous, no? So yes, we know there is egg in the salmonella, but we know we're going to cook it thoroughly when we need to prepare anything with egg, okay? Or if we do in mayonnaise, normally we do it with pasteurized egg, which is already been treated, no? Now, you were saying, I'm going to go a bit forward, and but I think it is important to talk about the 7 principles. These slides will tell me what is these dangers I'm trying to control, because the HACCP is called in English, HACCP or HACCP is hazard analysis critical control points. What is this hazard analysis? Hazard analysis means study the dangers of every step that can be going into the food. These dangers or hazards, to be able to study them, this is like learning English. You and me, we are talking English now. When I go around the world doing these audits, I learn how to do this HACCP system, and we all talk the same. We split the dangers in blocks so we can control them better. And we split them in biological, chemical, and physical. And these are the dangers that can then cause the food poisoning or illness. I'm referring about food poisoning because food poisoning is what we see most often, okay? Which is vomit, diarrhea, fever, stomach pain, headache, sometimes nauseous. So all range of symptoms altogether or just some can be caused from the food. But you can also, we can have chemical dangers that can cause other illness, like cancers, for example. So there's not just food poisoning. If we are consuming food with a higher content of chemicals, then we can have other diseases. For example, there was a TV presenter in Spain, very handsome, and he was very eating tuna all the time. So because he thought it was so healthy, but after so many years of eating tuna, he had a mercury accumulation in their body because obviously tuna has heavy metals, what we call, in the sea. So if you eat tuna, and you don't eat anything else, the man had this illness. He didn't know what was wrong with him. He lost weight, blah, 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 blah. And that was accumulation of mercury because of these years and years of eating tuna. Okay? So that's a very extreme case. I eat tuna, but he must eat tuna like every day. I don't know. Some people do crazy things for health, no? But yes, chemicals can then take long-term disease like cancers or other disease, no? And physical, it will be foreign bodies, no? Like bone, fish bone, chicken bone, fish bone, and that could cause an injury when swallowing, or when we eat it, it perforates our stomach or intestine, and then cause a problem internally, no? So we are going to try to know what is the most common dangers or hazards and how to control them by using HACCP. Now, this is the main blocks. Here we have the biological, which are number one enemy, bacteria, viruses. this is the most problematic because that is what causes food poisoning. Okay, number one of the food poisoning when you eat food is bacterioviruses, no? They are microscopical, both microscopical, and yes, they give you this moment diarrhea, stomach pain. We are going to learn about different viruses and bacteria, okay? Parasites, they're not as common, but they are found in raw meat and raw fish or uncured products, okay? So when we are eating salamis or we are eating raw meats, it could have parasites or raw fish, okay? But if we cook it or freeze it, should not be a problem. But normally also when we buy cure, we eat a lot of salamis here. When we buy cure from a good manufacturer, it should not have the problem, but it's not zero. The risk is not zero, no? So this is what we are telling. No? We will not advise, for example, why pregnant women cannot eat salamis or they cannot eat raw because of also risk of bacteria, but also risk of parasites. Okay. Now I'm going to talk to you about the vulnerable customers. Vulnerable customers. Who are they? It was the children because their immune system is to be developed. The elderly, they are losing the immune system. Pregnant women, because they have the baby and the fetus and themselves, and they are busy in the pregnancy. Their immune system is up and down, and some bacteria can kill directly the fetus and leave alive the mother because it has no proper immune system. It's taking it from the mother, no? But some bacteria can attack the fetus. Or also an immunosuppressed person. Immunosuppressed. This is people that take medication for whatever reason, and they have their immune system low. Then they are more likely the bacteria to be attacking them than other healthy person, because the bacteria is about number. We can have 1,000 units of bacteria that doesn't do anything to me, but person next to me could be having the immune system down. The same food makes me not ill, and then the person next to me makes him ill. So sometimes when we have a food poisoning outbreak, not everybody becomes ill, depending on the health of the person, and especially be careful with the group of people that we know their immune system is compromised. No? So yes, we have bacteria, we have viruses, we have parasites, not as common. As we said, the most dangerous is the other ones. Now, for molds, these molds can be beneficial. We have camembert cheese or we have Roquefort. No, I love it. These are good molds. But then sometimes for storage, we have, I'm going to show you a picture here, for example. Because sometimes an image, I think it helps a lot.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you about these molds.
Yes. If you see molds, don't use, unless it's a cheese that has to have molds inside, don't use.
Yeah.
So you throw it away. Because molds can grow toxins. For example, this is molds growing on maize, okay? This is what we call mycotoxin.
Yes.
Mycotoxin. This is when you store the maize in a place with humidity. Molds grow when it's certain humidity. Then these release toxins that can be dangerous. We cannot use this for flour or for any other things. Yeah. And you can find it also in wheat and things like that. But normally, any moldy thing growing in your fridge, unless it's a cheese, you will throw it away. Or a salami that has molds on the outside. Because salami can be with molds that they are beneficial.
Yes. I want to ask you about these molds because I was working in a Michelin restaurant and we make fermentations. And from my experience, the Michelin restaurant does not go well with HASP. That's why I want to ask, like in practice.
to validate what type of fermentation. Well, fermentation with vinegar. What do you ferment? Explain me the process first. Now, for me, if I was an inspector, I will tell them, show me your diagram. What are you exactly doing? Because otherwise, I don't know. What they were. An example. What were they doing?
Cherries, apricots.
Okay. And then
we put salt and sugar, as I remember. It's last 2 years, and we put it in the jar.
Okay.
And after we leave it like 10 days, 15 days, and it produces these bubbles and everything. Okay, I don't like the taste of this, but it's very, Instagram and very modern now. Yeah. For example, now I make kimchi in my kitchen. Yeah. Like in my house, my grandma make salted sauerkraut. Like you eat.
Okay. You very good. Normally people don't ask anything. Okay. Traditionally, we have learned how to control bacteria. How? By salt, by using salt or sugar, or taking the water away, no, drying. So this is because bacteria needs water. So this is ways of removing the water. So also acid. Acid can kill bacteria. They don't. So bacteria need neutral pH, and they need water. So when you apply what we call a hurdle effect, this means we apply different things to the food. Maybe sometimes we acidify it, then we put some sugar as well, for example. And that will make the water of the food taken away, and that food then has no water. The bacteria will not grow very much in it. No. Now, for this thing you were telling me that you do in your home, sauerkraut, I believe this is with acid. Well, when you ferment, the food becomes acid. What do you do it with salt and sugar, or salt and sugar?
Yes.
Well, now when this is done, some traditional foods, they already apply hazard because they are doing a CCP. The CCP for me should be checking perhaps the water content or the pH content. And if I know the water content is measured by this. This is how you measure water content.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
And for example, water will be 0.99.
Yes.
Then with less water, for example, this is less water. Let me see. For example, when I go to a factory and I ask for dry salamis, they need to know what is the water content and the salt content into the food. Then I know that that food is safe to eat, because certain bacteria will not grow under 0.82. I think it's Listeria 0.9. 0.90. Yes, and then we know, or the pH, then we know is 4.5. That's safe. But when you are preparing these apricots with the salt and sugar and 10 days, you should, as a restaurant, measure the end product and see what is the recipe and what is the pH and the acidity. Or see, the pH will tell me the acidity and the sugar content. You can then get also the sugar content you can know by bricks, which is another measure. So all of these will tell me if my product is safe or not. But without this, you can just not make it as it goes, because what about if one day you put less sugar or more less salt, less sugar, and then it doesn't ferment correctly?
Yes.
So to validate, what we call validate the process. Once the process is validated, then you can repeat the same. This is just, first of all, validate the process, because we know exactly what for example, I've got a friend that has one shop, one worker, and she does jams. Okay, so apart from boiling the fruit, she applies sugar, so the bricks content of the sugar is so high, is no water, so then she does the preserve. So it's fine. But there is references that we can know. If you are doing like that, you can consult a laboratory, and the laboratory will tell you, yes, this process is safe because you get this pH and this acidity. And you have to control the formula to get always the same pH and acidity or sugar content. Otherwise, you could be doing it a bit experimental.
Yes, yes.
You could be doing a mess there.
The higher pH we have and the higher pH, it's
No,
up.
the lower acidity, the lower 4.5 below is acid pH. What
Yes.
we call acid, and basic is pH 7 or above. That's the basic.
And
Like skin, you remember when we see these uppers, no? pH neutral,
yes.
pH neutral. Well, that will be pH 7 is neutral, and above 7 is basic. But
Uh,
yes, they like to be acid, 4.5, like vinegar. For
yes.
example, I went to an anchovy factory last week, and they were doing the frozen fish into a brine with vinegar and salt and water for 48 hours, but they were measuring the pH at the beginning, and then the pH of the fish, because it was raw fish. It's raw fish
Yes.
preserved on vinegar. And yes, I think it was 4.2, the pH of the fish.
So
So
the less pH we have, more acid we have, it's safer.
yes, it's for this you put vinegar in mayonnaise sometimes, no? Or some
Lemon.
lemon vinegar, yeah. Some
Yes.
Japanese cuisine. I don't like a lot vinegar.
Yes.
They use vinegar
Yes.
for this.
I understand. And just for my mind to, because I make for myself like sourdough bread, I create bacteria for yogurt, for this stuff.
Sourdough bread. Bread, you said?
Yes.
Okay, because we don't have this here. What do you do? Flour and water
Yes, yes, for
and you
5 days and put it like in a room temperature, 40 degrees, maybe 30 degrees, and you leave it for 5 days. So I don't want to consume your time now,
no,
but
no,
do
no,
it.
no, no. Yes, but what's happened after? You put it in the oven.
Yes, and I cook it, of course.
Well,
Yes,
first of all, when we are starting with certain raw materials,
yes,
flour is a dry raw material.
yes.
Flour has very low bacteria because flour, to start with, is no bacteria because it's dry. So the water activity in flour is very low. It's very safe. You're starting with a safe material as well. You
Okay.
understand? It's
Yes.
not, you're not doing this to meat. It's safe. It's a flour. Espera, water activity of the flour. I don't know if it's zero, some very low, but it's low. Um,
Okay.
no, no, and after you have the CCP, which is the oven, no, nothing will grow on this. No, even if you put water into the flour, um, the flour doesn't have anything really to grow. Obviously, during a storage, you keep it covered. Uh, you will not have cross contamination because sorry, the flour. What is the flour? A veure.
And do you know if you can give me like a book or references? I can search by myself how to understand which mold is good and which is bad. I
No,
know by my experience.
that is not a veure. For example, la, la, la. Okay, water activity. Okay, anything that is wet normally has 0.95, and flour will have nothing. It doesn't say here what the flour has. This is how we measure water. Un momento.
Mhm.
Veure. It's because I'm looking at a search that is not right. I have to look another search. But normally also, if anything grows, you have then the oven at high temperatures, but you start with a very safe material because it's very dry.
Yeah, I can
When you
say
go to
also that you take
pottery,
rice, because now it's very modern to make this mold with rice.
now you're talking about something different. Wait a minute. You're very interesting. I like it. I like it.
Thank you.
No, very interesting. A veure, oh, please give me some water. This is the standard moisture, blah, blah, blah. A veure, water content. Moisture, water activity, and bread, obtain, blah, blah, blah. They don't express it with a... here we have. Sometimes when you look in, well, doesn't matter. Flour has very low water because it's a dry food. The doesn't have bacteria in it. Now, you're talking about a different thing now. You're talking about using rice. Rice is a cereal, and rice,
Very dangerous.
what do you want to do with the, yeah, exactly. What do you want to do with the rice? Put it in water?
No, it's very Michelin star thing. They make we buy a bacteria and we boil rice on a steam and we put this bacteria after and we put it 2 days for 32 degrees in a
Vale,
thermos.
that ferments. That's
Yes.
yeah. But you buy yes, you buy manufactured bacteria that are beneficial. They're not dangerous bacteria. They are being treated.
But how I can know that my process nothing get wrong? So this bacteria culture I make, it's good or not good,
No,
you
no,
know?
no. You shouldn't make any culture. You buy it from the factory. But what you should do, you don't grow any bacteria. This you buy it in what we call a starters.
Yes, koji. The name of this bacteria, I like, and we make koji. Like this is
But
the
how
name.
can you make it? You make it from something.
Yes, or this bacteria I buy, and after I put it on barley or rice.
Okay, yes, but you buy it. For example, this is the factory. The factories I visit normally they use this manufacturer. It could be others. This is an example.
Yes,
This
yes, yes, yes.
manufacturer that you can buy for all sorts of meat. Here we can find it in English, I'm supposing.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, is food cultures and enzymes. Anything you buy
Yes.
here, they're being treated and it's not got contaminations. And you have for meat, for dairy, for cheese, fermented beverages. So you buy whatever you want, and then you can create this taste. They use it for salamis as well. They use it, let's see, for salamis, which is the ones I know more. These salamis that you see here, inside, they have these cultures, bacteria that are being especially created for it, which are being treated and they have no contaminants. So this is a safe packet, normally frozen. You buy them from frozen or dry. You can buy them dry or frozen. And that's safe because they're not pathogenic bacteria.
Yes.
But you're saying that you're using one commercial, that you buy one commercially, and then you mix it with what?
Rice or wheat,
But
barley.
vale, okay. And then what but this is always bought the original one from the manufacturer. In an
Yes. Koji in a small packet. Yes, like
that's
that.
safe. That's completely safe.
Okay, but I'm
But
thinking if something go wrong, if I put more moisture or if I touch my hand and there's bacteria from my hand go this.
I'm only telling you the what you buy is safe. Now you need to look at the process because obviously you said you cook the rice, you steam the rice, and then you put this and you stay how much hours? With
2 days, 32 degrees, something like that. It was 2 years ago.
No, but then you have to validate this process, because obviously anything else could grow, because this it could be that these bacteria. Okay, this is you're completely you're asking things complicated, because I'll try to explain. When we put these bacteria in the salami, is to avoid the bacteria from growing. So by when you are putting these bacteria, good bacteria in, this will grow and will push the bad ones out. Okay, so it will act as a, here I am, use me, grow me, don't grow pathogens. But this is especially why you put this, just not to give, they also will give some flavor, but they will push the bad bacteria out. But the final product should be validated to make sure there's nothing growing in it, apart from. But normally, I would say it could be safe, because adding bacteria will push the pathogens out.
Okay.
These will grow better than and then the others will not be able to grow, because these are using all the rice, and the others cannot grow when you have the good ones in. But I would say the restaurant should validate this into a lab, and then validate the process, and always then do the same process and not contaminating it, because as you say, this goes bad when you put or touch on inadequate, or the water was not right, or the temperatures are higher, or you not put enough good bacteria. But these are industrial bacteria. These are beneficial. This do not cause food poisoning.
Okay.
And
Okay.
it will be
Thank you.
helpful for my process.
Yes.
But yes, if you are doing these things, should be validated. Perhaps, for example, I'm not an expert, but when you do sushi, I've been to a sushi factory. When they cook the rice, they put vinegar on the cooking, so
Yes.
the rice becomes vinegar. Well, becomes acid.
Acid.
So this allows not to grow bacteria in this acid rice. It's not just boiled rice; it's acid.
So to validate this, we should have like this paper with pH meter, just to control ourselves.
No, because first of all, you have, well, obviously, I have to know a bit more about this process, because I'm not so familiar with, no, but you need to find out the final product, because I don't know if these, some things are controlled by sugar, some by pH, some by curing, by drying. So I would say you end up with something wet here. I
Yes.
don't know. I don't know if this wet rice is acid. Is it acid? Does it taste acid?
It tastes acid, but it tastes also sweet. And I don't know if the acidity is enough to kill the bacteria that grows after a certain time.
It should not be enough with a stick of pH, because the pH stick is good for liquids.
Okay.
Should be done with a pHimeter, which is, but this is just sending it to the lab. The sticks are good for liquids, to know the pH in liquid, but this should be done in a lab, and they should measure what's the pH of the final product, to see if it's safe or not, and the shelf life. No,
Yes. Yes.
the my God, no, it's because sometimes they do things. Yes, you can do it, but you have to validate the system. The end product, is it safe or it is not safe? Send it to a lab, and they also need to do a shelf life, because how many days are you going to be serving the food? After 2 days, you're going to throw it, or what do you do with it? What do you do with it? Keeping it for a longer, or what?
No, personally, when I make sushi, I rice each day. I finish the day garbage.
But do you do it with, you add vinegar on the rice as
Of
well?
course, it's sushi seasoning, so you has mirin, it's Japanese acid vinegar that's very sweet. You add mirin, sugar,
Yes, it's
rice
not a strong
vinegar.
vinegar, but that if you follow the instructions on the manufacturer should be okay. But yes, if you want to know, then you can send a sample of the end result. Now these days, to be honest, every day there are things more available for us. They are little pH meters manual. Espera, I was looking for one. Espera, pH. Is the other day at the factory manufacturer with the vinegar, with the anchovies, they had one of these little ones. Yes, you see, there are some manual ones, 48 euros. But obviously, what's happened with this, this has like a bowl, and then you submerge this little glass bowl on the food. But the problem with this is that you will need to calibrate this with some solutions. So
Yes.
it's better if you are in doubt, send a sample to the lab, pH determination, it will cost you nothing. And then they'll say, oh, yes, it's 4.5 or whatever. And then you'll say, oh, yes, my preparation is correct. But if you follow the instructions of the manufacturer and a good recipe, should be okay. But this is a pH, portable pH. Those here they measure in water because they are using it for the pools, but it is for liquid, but also for food. Okay, and then you can. But yes, you need to buy the calibration set, which is the liquid, to make sure that it's like a thermometer that this
Yes.
is the correct reading. But yeah, that's how you would measure pH with this or one from a laboratory, which is what we call like a table pH. It looks a bit like a thermometer.
Oh.
Mira, for example, this is what I use, but these are a bit more expensive because this is for the table, for doing a lot of measurements, no? But yes, you can buy a simple one, 40 euros. If just out of curiosity, sure they are cheaper than these ones. Sure they will be cheaper pH meters than that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
40 euros, okay? That will tell you the pH of the food. Well, it's good for you see, they have like a crystal ball inside, you see, and then we'll measure the pH of the food. That's how we do it it goes with a little battery, whatever. Well,
And if in the acidity, the pH is under 4.5, we are good.
Well, depending on the bacteria, let me see. I would say less than 5, but it's good depending on the bacteria. pH, depending on the bacteria, but as more acid, as better.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you put different things together. You put acid, you put sugars. So it is not sometimes not one thing. For example, here, cholesterol, blah, blah, blah. Fresh cholesterol, blah, blah. 4, 5. Five for me, if it's 4.5, better than 5. But you will need to know exactly for what food, maybe, and if it's got anything else. Maybe you added salt, maybe you added sugar.
Yes.
For this is better always, just in case of doubt, send it to the laboratory, and also make them to do a shelf life. First of all, is it safe? And then make them do a shelf life. How long can I keep it for? 1 day, 2 days, or 3 days? And then they'll do 3 analyses: first day, second day, 3 days. And then they will tell you after 4 days, this needs to be thrown away, or after 1 day, or more or less.
Yes, yes.
More or less. You're welcome. Well, no, it's because every country has different preparations.
Regulations and everything, yeah. Different water, humidity, everything, yeah.
But but humans have learned to preserve things, no? By salt, sugar, vinegar, lemon. These are things. Otherwise, we could not eat majority of the things, no? This anchovy factory, they were doing this vinegar anchovies, and they were perfectly happy because they were. I think it was 4.2, so the fish was acid at the end.
Safe, yeah.
So excellent. And then, we talked about this being the most dangerous ones. Then we have the parasites, not as common. I was going to show you. For parasites, we can have the anisakis, which is in fish. Let's see if I can find a picture of anisakis for you. Well, I'm sure you've seen it because obviously anisakis, you can see it a lot. But what's the problem with the parasites? Not as common, but there is a regulation, at least in Europe. This is the worm of the anisakis in fish.
Yes, I see this.
Yes, but normally if the fish is very infested, you should not use it. But normally they need to be cooked thoroughly or freeze -20 during 24 hours, for example. Or cook it 60 degrees, 10 minutes. But sometimes part of the fish is uncooked. So make sure you cook everything thorough or freeze it. -20, 48 hours, 24 hours. Some days say 48 hours, -25, depending. Okay, but yeah, that's not as common as majority we get food poisoning from bacteria and viruses. No, now from this list, pesticides and chemicals like drug residue. Okay, processing chemicals. Yes, we do have them in our kitchen, not for cleaning. We have to keep them in a separate locker away from food. If it's any what we call contact surface has to be contact surface. It could be a chopping board, no? They need to be rinsed after cleaning and disinfection. Otherwise, you pass the chemical into the food, no? You will cross-contaminate from the. If you don't rinse. Rinsing is important part because otherwise you have what we call cross-contamination from cleaning chemical into the food, no? That's common sense, no? Now, pesticides, we cannot do anything at our end because pesticides are from the farmer on the fields. The only thing is the farmer, imagine the farmer is growing lettuce and they have little slugs or snails. The farmer will apply a pesticide, but the farmer knows he needs to wait 14 days for the lettuce to be release the pesticide on its own. Because when we wash the lettuce in our kitchen, we will remove certain pesticides, but not 100%. The rest has to be, the plant needs to be alive for breathing it out, okay? So we buy our vegetables from reputable suppliers. We keep our invoices just to make sure this is control. If I buy from a wholesalers or even a market, they have their own license. So everything is controlled and the farmer has a book where he keeps the dates on a record. So should not be a problem. Do not buy from the road. Like in Spain, you can buy watermelons on the road. Don't buy it because it could be the pesticides were applied the day before. Now, drug residue, the same. The cow can have an illness, have antibiotic, but the farmer knows to wait 14 days. If you wait, no problem. The cow then release the antibiotic, then you can eat the meat. No? From the group, the most problematic here is the allergens. because of they could be really quick and trigger the allergic reaction. Somebody could die. We'll talk about this later. Now, foreign bodies can cause an injury, internal or suffocating. Then you can end up killed by a fish bone, piercing the intestines and peritonitis and die. Or I had once a piece of eggshell in my throat, then that causes you to suffocate. When I went to the toilet, I provoked vomit. But if it's a child or an elderly, they do not have the reaction. They could suffocate for a piece of eggshell because the similar allergy, like an allergy, you have inflammation and then you cannot breathe. So we have to look out for all of this. No. Okay. Here we're talking about allergens. Yes, food allergens can cause what we call anaphylaxis. Anaphylaxis is the reaction that causes when somebody that has an allergy takes this allergen and is life-threatening. And they call it also anaphylactic shock and include itchy skin or a raised red skin rash, a swollen eyes, lips, hands and feet, feel fainty, swallowing in the mouth, throat or tongue, which can cause difficulty breathing and swallowing difficulties, wheezing, like abdominal pain, nausea, vomiting, collapse, and unconsciousness. All of this is caused by an allergic anaphylaxis. Okay? So from little symptoms to big symptoms, no? Sometimes it's just an itchy skin. Sometimes it could suffocate it. Because the people that suffer an allergy, they carry an epinephrine pen to inject. But this can be not enough because depending on the day, the person has different reactions. So not because they have the pen, depending if they've been doing sports, if they are feeling tired, the reaction can be different. So it could be not enough, the medicament, to save them. So we are going to avoid to give them the allergen. No? Okay, let me see about these allergens, just a second. Yes, we have in Europe the most common celery, cereals, crustaceous, eggs, fish, lupin. These are the most common. That doesn't mean that I can have another allergy that is not in this list. I could have an allergy to honey.
To
And
pepper. Yes, yes.
to another thing that is not in the list. So you then you have to go with the chef and you or the chef look at the labels of the product. Always keep the labels of the food labeling, allergen label, because normally the labels can have
Ingredients. Yes, that's marked in a bold black. If I'm correct, yeah, it's more black when it's allergens. I'm going to ask you here. It's something I never understand. This list with the 14 allergens we have officially, yeah.
in Europe.
So, what is the meaning? The meaning is for.
The meaning is. Let me have a look. First, let me show you the label. The minute allergen labels in food. In food. Okay. Okay. Here we have, for example, we have here some labels of a tuna, and if I go a bit larger, we can see this tuna contains tuna and soy oil. So this is highlighted in black normally, yeah, like this, egg, meal, soya, wheat. So you know by reading it much faster that these are the allergens inside the food. Now, Europe has decided these are the 14 most common, okay? But in America, they have 10.
Yes.
We have. Then I think in Australia, maybe they have 8. I don't know. I lost track. But every region has different ones. So you always have to read the whole label. Is that what you wanted to ask? Why these 14? Because these are the most common.
I want to ask you because I misunderstand. So this plan we make for 14 allergens, it's for us, for the kitchen business, to inform people that we have celery in the food. So if you are allergic to this, you cannot eat it.
In the menus,
Or
okay, normally, depending on the every country, but now there are two different ways. You can tell in your menu, please ask your chef or whatever for the allergens, or have it already in the menu. And then
okay,
people can then not need to ask, and then, but some people do not have it in the menu, and they just put a notice saying, please ask the chefs about the allergens in your
yeah.
food. And then
It's
they,
it's not that the meaning is the customer. We contain this that is allergens, yeah. So you may have an allergic reaction because sometimes people they don't know that they are allergic.
well, if they don't know they're allergic, then
Not
neither
our fault.
of them have the fault. The problem
Okay.
is when they tell you and you giving them. No,
Yes.
because that's the
Yes.
problem.
Yes.
That is the problem. If they don't tell you, neither them or you have the problem. Is because, for example, my brother, he has crustaceous allergic, but he was not like that when he was young. So one day he almost died, and then he knows. After that day, he cannot eat them. But it was nobody's fault because he didn't know. Okay, so the problem with the allergens, we have to be aware. This is a commercial shop, doesn't matter because for the what I want is good.
Yes.
Tools.
It's concentration of allergen is 10 milligrams
No,
per.
but yeah, but that's what happened. You cannot trust it because here we have purple to avoid cross contaminant, because the problem is sometimes can be very little parts, what we call parts per million. So some people, this difference is every person is different. Maybe I have 5 ppm parts per million and somebody 20, but maybe that somebody at 20 today is reacted at 3. So no, you should not be contact with the allergen at all.
Yeah.
Don't
Okay.
trust the quantities. Just
Yes.
don't give it because
Yes. You
even
don't know. Yes. Yes.
no, allergens. Oy, oy, oy. Allergens tools. Allergen tools. Well, now the industry has chosen purple
Yeah.
to use.
Cut,
Here the talk. But they have other things, knives and
cutting board, everything. Yeah. Purple.
chopping boards, and even labels to then label your food in your storage. So then you can use it just for the allergens, and then can be washed separate with more care, blah blah. Because the problem, for example, when I do, my brother comes at Christmas and I do the food, and he has crustaceans, and everybody wants prawns. So I start with the clean kitchen, no juice on my hands, on my apron, on my surfaces, because as you know, from very little juices, or I could cause them a reaction. So I do my brother first, put it in the fridge. I do my brothers and my sister-in-law because she cannot kiss him otherwise or anything. Then I prepare a fish dish, put silver foil in the fridge. Then I do the prawns, but not the other way around because I'm scared of cross contamination.
Yes.
Now, also, for example, sometimes the reaction can be very strong. If you are steaming mussels in the kitchen and somebody pass with a very heavy mollusk allergy, you can trigger the allergy just by the steam of the
My lung.
mussel. So can be very oils in the fryer. So they need to be careful, no? Because some people were saying, no, I have not put the allergy, and then they fry in the oil of soya oil or fish oil. Or
Yes. Yes. I understand. I understand. Yes.
then
Yes. We don't.
another thing, yeah, another thing is things that you don't know. For example, pasta, dry spaghetti. Dry spaghetti normally is flour and water, but these days they sometimes put egg. So we need to check the labels because this was not a tradition, but now they put egg in the pasta. Now, for example, celery. Celery, you know the vegetable, but
Yeah.
celery is used for everything, like soups, stock cubes, for giving taste to sauces, dressings. So if somebody comes, just check the label. That's the only thing I can say. No. Well, so we know the most dangers. Okay. I wanted to show you this other video about the principles because we need to know a bit more about HACCP. Anything else on allergens? No, everything is clear. No, keep the labels, read the labels, listen to the customer or guest, and then decide.
And intolerance is like they can eat it, but
Yeah, but I will not say. I will not because if you are causing, yes, but if you are causing but stomach pains, people will complain as well, no? So okay, maybe you won't kill them, but you don't want to give them a stomach pain or nauseous. An intolerance, maybe you won't kill them, but you will give them a stomach ache, nausea. You don't want them to feel unwell, no?
yes, 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 yes. You inform sometimes people that, for example, a kid before 2 days come here and say, okay, I have a peanut allergy,
Ooh,
and he asked for mayonnaise, and I say, no, I don't give you mayonnaise because there is traces of peanuts inside. And
but
he say,
no,
no, it's fine,
no,
I eat mayonnaise.
no, but they are mayonnaise that they can assure that they have no traces of nuts.
The
Then
ones that we have has mayonnaise,
no,
has
no.
peanuts.
The only
Yeah,
thing you can do is do a fresh mayonnaise. But with what? With egg and what egg?
oil. Yeah, he just want Hellman's. That's the thing. But
No, pues no. But Hellmann's normally doesn't have peanut. I have it at home. But obviously, depending in what country you buy your
mayonnaise and everything. Yeah, okay.
exactly, because exactly normally here doesn't have peanut, but Spain doesn't have a lot of peanuts in anything anyway. So depending what the factory is producing.
Yeah.
No, but I don't remember seeing any peanuts on helmets. But
Okay.
that could be obviously depending on the region, on the region of the world. No, for example, soya, water, vinegar, egg, lemon juice, pepper, paprika, sugar, salt. No,
Okay. It was just an example. It's okay. Doesn't matter.
your mayonnaise will not be good. It should. I would not be happy to give it to him.
But sometimes they ask. They say, oh, it's okay. I
It
don't
just
know in this case what you
right
have to do.
yeah, but it's okay until it's not okay. You know what I mean?
Yes, yes,
No?
yes, yes. I understand this.
And
Yes.
then it's better to say no, we don't have it instead
Yeah,
of
yeah.
it contains peanut. That's
Yes.
because if something goes wrong, it's always for you to have the blame. No, espera, wait, because I have the video of safety hazards. Before we were online, I had it selected, and now
And do you know a site, an organization that you can get updated because it's change all this regulation changes very often.
yes. I will recommend it to you later because this is the site we use for the whole videos in here. I will show you.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Thanks.
Um, Okay. No, it's because I wanted to show you a short video on the HACCP just to have like an overall idea, and then we can then, just in case you have questions on HACCP. A veure, this guy. Because these days there is a lot of adverts in the... Yes, I got it, I've got it. It's just is a lot of adverts in the publicity. Okay. It's everything inside my head, but sometimes it's difficult to but you are good to ask questions because you are the one that has to do this on your own, you know, and maybe answer any other questions.
Yeah.
100 million people suffer
Yes.
from food poisoning each year.
Well, here,
For 3,000 of those people,
yeah?
it's fatal. Why is
Okay.
foodborne illness still so prevalent today, in spite of incredible advances in technology and medicine?
Okay, this is just a short video, but it will help us a bit with the introduction. Yes, we have food poisoning, we know that. Now what's happened? What have I done now? Oh, okay, let's start. Okay. The search engine, now it doesn't like it. What's wrong with it? The IT is very good. I think I have too many things open. Okay. Yes.
$600 million people suffer from food poisoning each year. For 3,000 of those people,
Now it stops. How incredible is that? Bueno. No, I've been watching it before I connected to you because I wanted a short presentation, and that was very good. Wait. This week I'm not very patient. I'm a very bad chef, me. I burn everything. My mom always used to say, "You're a good cook, but you burn too impatient." Okay, she was right. Now it's gonna be an aber. Okay, you put up with the aber.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, you're mad.
600 million people suffer from food poisoning each year. For 3,000 of those people, it's fatal. Why is foodborne illness
No, that's me stopping
still
the
so
video.
prevalent today,
Because I
in
wanted to
spite of
finish
incredible
it.
advances in technology each year? For 3,000 of those people, it's fatal. Why is foodborne illness still so prevalent today, in spite of incredible advances in technology and medicine?
I'm not happy with not happy with the of that. What have I done wrong? Yeah, wait. Now, why? Okay, yes, we do have food poisoning.
The
Why?
ironic fact is, it's that same advancement that has enabled foodborne illnesses to thrive. Over the last 50 years, technology and globalization have made it easier for people to travel, trade, and explore new culture. Unfortunately, we've also extended that offer to foodborne pathogens. For example, E. coli has amplified over the last 35 years, which closely mirrors the timeframe during which long-term, large-scale shipping has become mainstream. All of these advancements have also strengthened foodborne pathogens. When E. coli was first identified, it produced only the common food poisoning symptoms, but now the strain is far more damaging to the victim's kidneys and even resistant to antibiotics. For food processors, HACCP plans the best way to protect consumers and prevent outbreaks of foodborne illness. HACCP is an approach to maximizing food safety through identifying biological, chemical, and physical hazards that could render food unsafe, as well as monitoring food products through all stages of processing, to ensure safe conditions are maintained. HACCP plans are vital to consumer safety and company credibility. To create a HACCP plan, you must first conduct a hazard analysis by determining any potential hazard.
Well, this is what we were saying about, first we need to know what food are we going to be preparing, because every food has their own dangers, no? We said, no, anisakis in raw fish. So we need to know what are we doing here? This weird rice, but can you see how the bacteria, even the bacteria have changed? Because things travel so much. People do weird experimentations. We do internationalization of the food. We don't need like our grandmothers. They eat. My mother, when she was little, she used to eat every day almost the same. These days, food travels a long way. So all of this creates a high number of more bacteria. The bacteria develop different. So now we're going to do the steps of the hazard plan. First, do an analysis of the food that we are going to prepare.
That may exist in the operating environment. A few examples of potential hazards might include raw and cooked foods stored in close proximity, limited hand washing stations, or an unsanitary storage environment. Next, identify critical control points. A critical control point is a point, step, or procedure in a food process at which control can be applied to. Create a list of these critical control points. Now it's time to employ the most critical asset to a HACCP plan.
Okay, so
now it's time to employ the most critical asset to a HACCP plan. Create a list of these critical control points.
This is what we end up in our process, and that's our control points that will help us to prevent any hazard and making the food unsafe, okay? Like temperatures, storage adequate, how to prepare our food by not having cross-contamination.
Now it's time to employ the most critical asset to a HACCP plan. Data loggers. Data loggers can record the temperature and humidity.
This is an example of recording. Sometimes you can do it with a
monitoring protocol should be
created. Or paper.
All aspects of data collection. This document should define the acceptable range of temperature and humidity levels, as well as how long it is acceptable to remain at. Another aspect to note is the rate at which the data logger will collect the readings. Then, determine the areas in which data loggers should be placed. Loggers should be placed at all critical control points.
Well, here is talking about equipment that is going to help us to monitor the CCP of a storage. So if we have different rooms that they need to be chilled, for example, this walk-in cooler or walk-in freezer, they put these devices and that will record and will even alarm if the temperature goes out of range. No? So this will be a critical control point, control either by hand manually or control by a thermometer that has recordings. Then you can download it into your computer and see the recordings or anything that was wrong during the day. If you don't want to do it by hand. But we have to respect the limits. No, if it's a fridge, 5 plus minus up to 8 legally maximum. And if it's a freezer, minus 18. Okay.
This is one thing I want to ask you, because I read in the things that it's for the seminar, the legal refrigerator temperature is until 8.
Well,
it's until 5. No.
Normally you will run it below 5, but yes, sometimes in the graphic you can have a peak of 8 because you are opening and closing the door. So you will have a peak of 8 or when the equipment is thawing out or things like that. But this doesn't mean you can keep it all the time at 8. Okay. Means the inspector will allow you some peaks of 8 because this is people walk in and out, leave the door open, but you will have to decide how long you want to keep it up more than 8. If it's 8, 10 minutes, okay, but if it's 8 more than 10 minutes, then no. So this is what we have to fight against, no? And freezers normally is minus 18, but yes, we could put a minus plus minus up to minus 15. well, freezer could defrost. And as long as the food is 0, then we could move it to a chiller. Then we have to cook this food. We cannot then freeze it again. But ideally, freezer to keep frozen good should be -18. But if it breaks down, well, we could move it into a chiller if we don't have any other freezer and use the goods as long as the temperature has not reached 5 degrees. Let's say, okay, it starts to defrost. Okay, let's defrost, cook it or use it, or otherwise we'll have to throw the food because that's been defrosted already. But if it's been defrosted and the food is 12, 14, then you have to discard the food because it's gone too long.
Yes.
Okay. So he is saying, he's using an example of a CCP temperature control temperatures, and you have to put the critical limit, in this case, no more than 8 for, let's say, 10 minutes maximum. I would say even 10 minutes is a lot, but normally these days,
Cooler and storage facilities,
should be able.
and in all other areas food or beverages are processed. Note how many data loggers of each type you require to monitor each designated food processing zone. Another document to add to your HACCP plan is a corrective actions protocol. In this, you should outline the actions that will be taken if thresholds of desired readings are exceeded or safety of the food is otherwise compromised. Record keeping is a vital element of a HACCP plan.
Okay, corrective action. Now, the important thing is that in life, things can go wrong. These critical limits can go wrong. Then we have to find out what to do next. As I said, if it's a freezer and I have my critical limit a -18, then we have to see, well, we have the corrective action will be move it into a chiller or another freezer, depending on the product temperature. So as long as the product temperature is not above 0, let's move it to another chiller and use
this. You should outline the actions that will be taken if thresholds of desired readings are exceeded or safety of the
Plan
food
B.
is otherwise compromised. Record keeping is a vital element of a HACCP
everything
plan.
documented.
All plans regarding food safety and data monitoring should be properly documented and updated when changes are made.
Changes are
HACCP
made, new
compliant record keeping
processes.
will include the following documents: a written HACCP plan, the hazard analysis, the identified critical control points, the parameter thresholds, monitoring and verification procedures, record keeping procedures, flowcharts, and the corrective actions protocol. MatchTech offers a complete line of real-time data logging devices to make the monitoring processes easy and as automated as possible. Temperature and humidity data wirelessly transmitted to MatchTech's free software. The software can automatically translate data into graphs on a brain tree. Alert be displayed for each internet-enabled device.
These days, they are cheaper equipment like that. They can do it like that as well. For 25 euros, you have a data logger. But this is telling you a little bit about why do we do in HACCP, but in the importance of the records. Let's summarize everything now. I don't know, but because I need to give you all the information. I don't want to miss anything. Okay. So yes, the HACCP system, we have these control points, we have to be monitoring them, recording them. Now, in the HACCP system, sorry if I've been a bit disorganized, but hopefully we'll catch up a bit. Sometimes before even starting with HACCP, we have to also have what we call preconditions or prerequisites. These are not a fixed number like the principles. Principles, yes, they are 7. Okay, but preconditions means before I can even think in open a restaurant, I have to have my premises and my storage in the good conditions. We cannot just make food in a garage, correct? So these are the preconditions I have to have and be thinking before opening a restaurant. Now, Maite, I believe she put in the pack this document because I want to show you now. This document tells you by law what you have to have in your restaurant in terms of toilets, sinks, hot water, pest control measures. So all the things that you have to have in a restaurant before applying for a license to open even a restaurant. My computer is about to stop, to explode.
Can I ask you something meanwhile?
Yes,
So if you defrost the food, meat,
yes.
you cook it 75 degrees for 2
Or
minutes.
60 degrees, 2 minutes. That's a standard cooking. Yeah. Or
Yeah.
equivalents. They are equivalents. Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. So
Yes.
after, can you freeze it again?
I would say yes.
Okay, perfect.
Because you are killing when you cook. The problem with throwing out food is that you cannot throw out the food and then put it back in the fridge, because in this you have the bacteria could grow a little bit. But when you cook it, you will put it down, cook the whole thing, bacteria safe, then you freeze it.
Perfect.
Put it in the fridge during 3 days. They
Perfect.
normally say 3 days for things that they are cooked.
Okay. And
The shelf,
one,
we were telling that every food is different and the life of the food more or less is different depending, but normally standardized is anything open, no more than 3 days kept in the fridge.
oh,
So you can cook it and leave it in the fridge for 3 days or freeze it. And then
I'm going to ask you two things, if it's possible, about the temperature, because I know for the company I was working, we have different, like for beef, it was 75 degrees for 2 minutes. For pork, it's different. For chicken, it's 68 degrees. For, I don't remember, but in these things I have from the seminar, it doesn't read something like this. It's very general.
yes, because yes, you're right. Yes, but all these are equivalent. You can choose and you can use any recipe that you want. Okay.
Yeah.
Here, for example, ground beef. Yeah, this is in Fahrenheit, but yes, every I would say, but no, but yes, but how do I explain this? Sometimes I know the answer was difficult to explain. Cooking times and temperatures.
Yeah, if I can find it somewhere, or if you have something to send me,
Yes. You have here you have tables, no? There are tables of this is in Fahrenheit, no? But as you say, ground meat, poultry, whole sheep.
Yes, this that I want.
Yes, but you can have this is always equivalent of 70 degrees 2 minutes. I'm sure I have it in here. In my course, I put it the temperatures. Ai, Déu meu, a veure si està aquí. No, maybe not, més bé, more further down. Temperature control, a veure, cooking. Cooking food, doesn't say. Because it all depends on the instructions. No, I don't have it here. This is I'll show you that, and that will show you. This is the page I want you to memorize, because this is the UK government page. You have all sorts of guidance when you want to retrain your staff, or
Yeah.
this is the page, okay? And then I put here cooking temperatures. And they have made studies to know that cooking temperatures, cooking safety in your business. Okay. You will understand when you see cooking meat, blah, blah, blah. Cooking temperatures. Okay. Now, yes, for example, normally the cooking is 70 degrees 2 minutes because this is a safe temperature to kill majority of the bacteria, okay? This will kill what we call 99.9% of the bacteria. If you don't follow this recipe in the center of the food, you have to follow other times and temperature combinations. Remember for the exam, the cooking is 70 degrees during 2 minutes. It's not just 70 degrees, okay? Because time and temperature is always the two together, okay? But sometimes it could be seconds. 80 degrees, 6 seconds. 6 seconds is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's it. So, but it's always a combination of time and temperature. And these are some of the combinations that are equivalent to this. But you can find other recipes. For example, chicken liver pate. It doesn't matter what recipe do you follow, as long as they are equivalent to this recipe. For example, here they do this in cognac, blah, blah, blah. And how is that cooking? Let me see. Bain Marie. And here, check the temperature on the core. Vale, this is because they have to put this notice because this is a special way of cooking with bain marie. Pate that is cooked under control conditions in a bain-marie of 68.
Yes.
So you have to cook it at 68 and then it has to be kept refrigerated because it's a very soft way of cooking it.
Yes, yes.
45 minutes.
Okay.
As long as you follow recipes that they are standardized, for example, I didn't know this recipe. We don't cook this type of recipe because this is for not for leaving the pate a little bit pink, I'm guessing.
Yes, I make this. I cook this. So we
Okay.
sous vide it also, and we put this one. Yeah, it's like this.
Vale, but here it tells you have to cook for longer because
Yeah,
the
yes.
is not that hot. So as long as it's a safe combination, you have to put in the computer always safe combination equivalent to 70 degrees 2 minutes. If one other useful piece of information is this book that I put in the pack that is called, for example, here it tells you, sometimes you also have to watch it visually, there's no blood, or if especially it's a large piece, the no things get uncooked, no?
Yeah,
So
but some things itself we have to serve it uncooked, like a rare beef fillet. And
yes, but that's a different scenario. That is because yes, but I explain you why it is. For example, blah blah blah, keeping food hot, vale, reheating food, vale.
yeah,
No,
it say that you have to burn it by the sides very good.
yes, but this is because the fillet, when you have passing from an animal to a beef steak, when you do the slaughtering, the dressing, the visceration goes on top of the cow or chicken on the outside. So
It's not going inside. Okay, okay, I understand.
exactly, the sirloin or entrecote, or they are more in a muscle, they are more sterile. So it is correct, you can do that, but you cannot do it in a burger because there is a bacteria very dangerous, which is the E. coli 0157, that with a little amount you can kill a child or an elderly because people think, I can see the video with you now. A steak, fine, you can do on the outside. Inside should be pure muscle, not contaminated. Fine, that's correct. Now, this you mix is a ball of bacteria. This you cannot do. This is a dead sentence. Because normally bacteria is about numbers, but unfortunately, this E. coli that I was telling you about, with a very little numbers, it can trigger this disease and kill a child or an elderly, or leave them with damaged kidneys for the rest of their life. So the burgers have to be carbonized, but not the sirloin steak, because it's
Okay.
also, but it's for this. You understood? No, no problem. No.
Thank you.
But
Thank
yes,
you. Very good.
In here they'll tell you how to check for
Yes, yes.
cooking or not cooking. But this is a very good book that is in here that will recommend that you have it because you are very interested. And I put here just catering, okay. And these are called all sorts of things, safe catering. And then safe catering, let me see, blah, blah, blah. Is a very large book. A veure, open a book. Sometimes it triggers a little bit more, but well, this is the one of them.
We have this. I read this.
Yes,
We have it. I know.
yes, but then there's a lot of questions of what can go wrong, how to do the HACCP.
Yes, yes.
But there should be another one. Safe catering is one. And the other one, this is all type of recordings and trainings, just in case you need a paperwork for recording. Okay. This is, we can look at this with you. This is for what I was telling you about. You can then check the deliveries. No? For example, you have some chilled goods, so no more than 5, maximum 8 chilled deliveries here for the fridges, but you always have the signature of the supervisor, which is you. You can ask people to do it, but at the end, have the signature of the supervisor at the end. This is more for the chef, the cooking, the cooling, the reheatings, or for the chefs as well, hot holding or cold holding. It depends of food, it has to be in display, cold or hot. But always the supervisor will check the HACCP records. That is
Yes.
an example, because as you can say, they can be different depending on the business.
And these papers or this HACCP system, I have the knowledge and the experience maybe. Can I create a HACCP system for my kitchen? I'm working. And for example, print this paper that we are looking now, or if I can create my Excel. It's going.
Yes, they are you for printing. You will find in this page, you will find a lot of
this is valid for the HACCP controller. If you come to my kitchen and I say, look, I have this paper, but there is no TIV Austria, for example, on an organization that we pay money as a company.
You need to do the whole protocol, which is, yes, the papers, you can use them. But first of all, obviously, maybe those papers will not be enough depending on what type of food you have to produce. So you better following the whole of the HACCP process, which is this other little document that we saw, which is the HACCP, but wait a minute. Sorry about that. Normally I'm very organized. Today is HACCP.
So I have to pay to a company to validate the HACCP system.
Well, no, you don't, but depending on the training, because obviously now you're doing level 3 catering, but they are also training especially for HACCP. Then you could go on one of their courses, but you always have to verify your HACCP at the end of the day. How? You can ask somebody to come and have an audit, like myself, or you can send some samples of your food to the laboratory and check those, for example, or check samples of your kitchen, for example, like surface swabs, for example. This is a sponge for doing the swabs for
Yes.
how clean is my kitchen, for example. So if you want to do a HACCP system from zero, you need to do it from zero, the whole. First, you have to do well, the introduction, you can get it from anybody. That's nothing. But then you have to have the prerequisites.
Yes.
Prerequisites is all of these legal obligations.
Mhm.
Do I have cleaning schedule? Do I have somebody to do the maintenance? Do I have the pest control? Hygiene rules? Do I have kitchens with the utensils? So let's start step by step. When I told you about the prerequisites, I asked Maite to give you this as well, which is, I'm going to show you. This is a guide that follows the legislation for any business, how to create the kitchen, perfect kitchen.
Without paying someone who is like their job to make the house. It's going to be valid. It's going to be okay.
Well, but you have to work hard at it. I would say maybe you should go to a HACCP intermediate course before doing it on your own, all of it. But first of all, the prerequisites, you can know what to do because in this book, for example, you have all the preconditions, no? Here, for example, it's telling you how are my flows? Things, what the law says about my flows.
Yes,
No,
yes.
if I want to open a restaurant, not every material works, no? What is my lighting recommended, for example? What is my temperature? We were talking, it should be no more than 25 around the kitchen, for example, okay? Now, ventilation, either ventilation has to be in the kitchen, then we have construction materials that they're okay, fridges, freezers, uniforms, equipment, utensils, sinks, wash basins for the hands and the tools separate, one for tools and one for hands.
Yes.
Floors, how they need to be the floor? With tiles or vinyl or terrazzo? Well, walls, washable with ceramics, stainless steel, PVC, for example. So every detail of my business, that's my preconditions. I have to do all that before I can open a business. How are the doors? The doors have to be able to be shut properly, okay? And preferably with not handles, okay? So you can just push your elbow or something like that, no? Because in the handle, you have the cross contamination. You will have to hire a pest control person in place to come from time to time or put some measurements, no? Like fly screens or fly killers, or even traps for cockroaches if you think you have a problem, or rodents, whatever. You have to do inspections. Lavatories, how have they to be? They need to be connected to the drain, ventilation. So all of this is prior even doing the hazard. These are my preconditions. Temperature of the water. This is very important. When I go to the food factories, they work without hot water. No, no, no. You need to have hot water, but not the scalding. Okay? 38 to maximum 41 for hot water to clean hands. 44 no, because you can damage your hand. Okay? So bactericidal soap. Now, more things about the equipment. Dishwashers. Okay, glass washers, sinks, sterilizing sinks. All of these have to be in place. Okay, more things. So with this potable water for working, no? If the water is not potable, I cannot do any food preparation, no? I have to, even ice machine, very important, no? How often do I have to clean my ice machine? Because there is ice, then you can cross-contaminate the ice cube. So here is a practice on every 2 weeks, the ice machine has to be cleaned, okay? So with that, you have a lot of information on how to prepare your business for the inspection.
Yes.
Okay? So these are the prerequisites of my installation. And this is in this document.
With 88 pages, yes, I checked this.
Yes. Which is called, oh my God, too many things. Believe me, I have everything inside my head, but sometimes it's difficult to get it out of my head. Well, you know the document, no?
I
It's
know,
called,
I know which one. We have it in the things you
but
sent me for the seminar.
there will be questions on the exam about how you have not to use porous materials. You have to have a stainless steel, non-wood, non-rust materials because they don't clean well. So you will have to use the correct materials for the kitchen, no? That's part of the hazard plan, okay? So
Yes.
we know about the equipment and the installation. Then we have to have hygiene rules, my uniform, my gloves, if I need them, or clean hands, not to wear jewelry, short nails, no perfume, no makeup, all of these things. Pest control in place. Then we have to have nice places for storage, dry goods, chiller, freezers, whatever. Keep the waste with the correct containers, different areas to work. It would be very good if I could have an area for the raw preparations and one for the cooked food, okay, or ready to eat with the more risk food, if it's possible. Okay, with all of this is the pre-organization or prerequisite. Now, for doing hazard, now we're doing the hazard. We need to see what type of food we're going to be preparing. List of ingredients. A little bit the questions I asked you when you were telling me about this rice, no? What are the ingredients? How do I keep it? What is the sequence? Okay, when I know that, I will know what dangers are in every step because the rice has Bacillus cereus. Bacillus cereus is in cereal, and that could be a problem because any cooked rice keep warm, this Bacillus cereus could grow. So we need to make sure for rice that that's an expert that will help you with that. No, but rice normally or cereals in general, quinoa, things like that will have Bacillus cereus. So be careful. Now, any dangers for physical that could be anything if we leave the food uncovered, but we will keep it covered. No. So when we do know that about the hazards, we have to see what are my critical control points. For every step, I have to have a control point. pH, temperature, pH level of sugar, for example, if I'm doing a jam, for example. Okay, so all of that will be a critical control point with the limits, no? What is the percentage of sugar? What is the pH? All of this has to be written down. What are the temperatures? For how long? Now, we have to record it, which is the monitoring. If this is the principles already, hazard analysis, establish critical control points, limits, monitoring, corrective action. What do we do when things go wrong? Okay, for example, the cooking is very easily, no? If you don't get to the cooking, cook longer, no? Cook longer, for example, no? Here is a guy monitoring cooking in the center of the joint, okay? Monitoring methods, okay? Now, reviewing. From time to time, you have to review. There's no changes, that you've done the correct things, that everything that you're doing is what you say you're doing, that you're not inventing some crazy recipe without checking, for example, okay? And then every once in a year, we have to verify everything correctly. This is our flow diagram we were telling you about, examples of a CCP. But once a year, we have to do verifications. We can have an auditor or an inspector to come along to assess us, to see if everything is done correctly, maybe at the beginning and once a year, okay? And that could be enough. Or even send samples of food or surfaces or both for checking once a year to make sure if I am doubting of my recipes or I want to double check, that could be a verification of the system, okay? So that's basically hazard. But it is not easy because, as you say, it's a variety of food that you're preparing and okay. Sorry, going backwards and forwards, I'll go back again. Okay. Now let's summarize all that. We were doing this. Yes. Sorry to repeat because I want you to understand, but stop me if you don't understand. Eh? Okay, we're talking about hazard. Very good. Hazard has preconditions or prerequisites. Then we have the 7 principles. Know the hazards, put critical limits, monitor them, record them, put corrective actions, verify and check the documents. Verify if everything is working by doing an inspection or doing samples away on the laboratory, and then checking the records and the documents are up to date. That is the 7 principles. Okay, and that is a risk assessment. This is the same in another different way. My diagram, my dangers that we try to control and control them by using HACCP. Anaphylaxis is this reaction when we have an allergy that could be very little or very big, depending, even ending in death. Now, when we identify the hazard, yes, is saying careful with these hazards. We saw this, no? Parasites, bacteria, pesticides. The most important is the harmful bacteria, not the beneficial ones that you use for your bread and things. No, the pathogens that cause the illness. Eh? Now, yes, during production, you will do different things: purchasing, delivery, storage, preparation, cooking, cooling. Yes, and hazards can be in every one of these steps. And be careful that we can contaminate the food during the process, no? By raw has a lot more bacteria, we can cross it to cook, or by dirty vegetables into clean food, no? So we have to be careful, or dirty hands touching the food. That's a cross-contamination. Or illness, myself being ill, working with food. That cross-contaminate the food. No? Accidents that they can happen during these steps if we're not careful. Yes, bacteria and other microorganisms like viruses can multiply, and some, well, this is one of the problems that we have in our business. Majority of bacteria are killed by cooking. So
Toxins, no.
But exactly, sometimes not, depending on the temperature. But the problem is the bacteria can release poisons if left unsupervised. These poisons are called toxins, and these are not destroyed by cooking. Okay, so let's say we have something in the countertop in the danger zone. We are hot day. We forgot to put it in the fridge more than 2 hours. Then the bacteria are allowed to produce the toxins. We say, oh my God, I'm putting it back in the fridge. Then in the reheating, I will be safe. No. You allow the toxins to grow, and the toxins are not going to be destroyed by cooking or reheating. That's the problem. These in-between times that you have to be really strict on keeping them short, okay? Anything you want to ask me? No,
I
so
want to
far?
ask you about this for toxins, bacteria, and viruses and everything. I would like to know more about this, like which food combination, for example, rice with moisture can produce this toxin that can make this illness to the people.
Right
Chicken,
now.
salmonella,
Yeah,
diarrhea, for example.
see that right now, yes. Okay, another thing that we have to know about we call them pathogenic bacteria. The food poisoning bacteria or pathogenic, the problem is that they don't give a taste, a smell, or the food doesn't look bad, okay? You have bacteria that makes the food deteriorate. But sorry, I'm going to close the door because I can hear my dog. Just a minute. because I could hear him crying and I didn't know what was wrong with him. Nothing wrong. Okay, I was just telling you, the bacteria we have beneficial, we talked about them. Then we have the spoilage bacteria. A spoilage bacteria is the one that rottens the food. And that you have it very easy because you open the fridge and you have the smell, slimy, bad color. Then you know that you discard the food. But the pathogenic bacteria doesn't have traces of a smell and the food does look equal. Otherwise, it will be so easy for the chef. No, oh, this fillet is full of salmonella. I throw it. No, we don't know. No, that's the problem. And then that's what we have to control most careful because they're microscopic. We don't see them and we don't have any signs, okay? And yes, this is the dangerous areas when we transfer to ready-to-eat foods from raw to ready-to-eat because of bad practices or people touching the food or pests touching the food or dirty equipment and then touching the food. Then sometimes even if we cook it, there are parts of the food that they are uncooked, large piece of in the okay, so bacteria could survive. And obviously the food grows more, the bacteria, if they're not stored in the correct temperatures, okay? Food poisoning. What are the symptoms of food poisoning? We have a few here. Upset stomach, vomiting, diarrhea with bloody stools, feces with blood, stomach pain and cramp, fever, headache. These are some of the symptoms, the most frequent. Sometimes one or two, sometimes all of them. Okay, and we have food poisoning if the food is not cooked properly or not reheated properly, if it's not stored correctly outside the freezer or the chiller, if it's left out for too long, then is when we allow them to do the toxins and spores because we left them in the counter too long. Sometimes we cook and they have to be a little bit chilled before putting it into the fridge. And this time should be no more than 2 hours. If it's a very hot day, no more than an hour, okay? Otherwise, bacteria will develop toxins and it'll be too late, not killed by reheating. Somebody that has ill or not wash hands touching the food. Or we eat after the use by date. I'm going to explain you this a little bit more later on, no? Retain that, eh? Any type of food can cause food poisoning. Okay, even your safe bread, if you then touch the bread with dirty hands from touching meat, then, well, thank God the bread then goes into the oven and the oven is a good CCP and is high temperatures. It will kill anything, but it's not a good practice because the problem is not contaminated after, okay? But yes, now the bacteria. Here you have a few examples. Okay, let's start for an easy one. Salmonella. This gives you these symptoms. This you need to learn a little bit. Where you find salmonella? In chicken, in eggs, in egg products, also in meats, red meat as well, could have it. What does it cause? Diarrhea, fever, stomach cramps. And it depends of if you're an elderly or child, it could be killing you. So it's not so innocent. And appear the symptoms between 12 to 36 hours, but it can be from 6 to 72 hours. So what you need to learn sometimes, what cause, where are they? You need to know where are they, what are the symptoms, and how fast. Okay? Okay. And this is how to prevent them. Now, wait a minute. Because, for example,
yeah. This I
let me
have, if you can send me this or where I can find this.
This should be already in the presentation.
I never see it and I read it all.
Vale, then I'll ask Maite now to resend you the new presentation, okay? Because I updated this recently. But wait a minute, I'm gonna tell her right now, okay?
Yes. This is what I was looking for, and I asked you before.
Yes. Because that could help you as a chef to know what went wrong, okay?
Yes, exactly, and be more cautious. Like neurotoxins and this stuff, people had
For
in the
example,
brain.
don't worry about, I'll explain you now. I'll explain you. For example, okay, let me see, a veure, listeria. I can start one by one. Campylobacter. This normally is in the drinking water, raw meat, poultry, and unpasteurized milk, and gives fever, headache. Well, that's a new symptom, for example, because this one didn't give headache, correct?
Mhm.
Stomach pain, diarrhea with blood. So this is a particularity of this one, and takes a little bit longer, up from 2 to 5 days. Okay, so it's a bit longer than this one, eh?
Mm.
And the symptoms can last longer, from 1 to 11 days. Okay. Now, this is how to prevent, cook
Yes.
everything down, don't contaminate. But yeah, let's carry on looking. So we have Campylobacter. Campylobacter is very much associated with chicken. I don't know if you heard that now in the UK, they want not to wash the chicken from the shop. When you get a chicken,
We never wash the meat because the water is contaminated, and after you
exactly,
contaminate the meat, you never wash.
exactly. I don't like it, but yeah, they say not to do it. Well, I respect that because the splashes are full of Campylobacter and Salmonella. So this, I would say, is very much on the chicken front. Okay, although cows can have cow meat, beef can have Salmonella as well. Okay, so we have the chicken and the milk and the egg, vale? But
Yes,
this
yes.
one, the one here, a bit with the blood, can give you a hint, eh? And headache. Now, we need other ones. Let's see. This one is the one of the burger. The one I was telling you that is so dangerous. This is found in the stomach of the cow, in the intestine or the stomach of the cow. And it's particularly for minced beef and burger and meat products, but also can be found in water or unpasteurized milk cheese, sometimes or unpasteurized milk. Okay?
Mhm.
And this E. coli, I was telling you, E. coli, what we call verotoxigenic, E. coli 0157. This is dangerous because it's deadly in children and it's got fever, vomiting, pain, diarrhea with blood as well, but can cause kidney failure or death, and is a bit slow from 1 to 14 days, but associated with the burger, okay? So cook the burgers for the E. coli. And unpasteurized cheese, I would not eat it if it's a child or whatever, no?
Or
No, I
a
was
woman with children, yes,
yes,
pregnant,
normally, or pregnant women don't eat unpasteurized cheeses,
yes.
okay? Because in this, they have a lot of E. coli can have, okay? Now, listeria. Listeria, I like a lot this one because I have to study that a lot. This is less frequent. Do you know about listeria? No, you don't know perhaps. A
It's
little bit?
for the animals that is contaminated with this.
Yeah,
Just
well, no. This is what I call the posh bacteria because it likes everything I like: smoked salmon, fresh cheeses, salamis, things that you eat like a cold snack, like a quiche or ready meals.
ready to eat food.
Yes, like a delicatessen food, okay? And this bacteria is not as common as Salmonella, but is more deadly. And is very special because this can take up to 70 days of presenting symptoms. And these have neurological effects. Meningitis is a neurological effect. And also, it is very important because they can kill the babies, okay? So if you are pregnant, they kill the baby. Sometimes you survive. Sometimes you also become ill, but definitely will kill the baby. Okay, so it is important for the mothers not to have anything ready to eat. Everything cooked and eaten, okay, because of these Listeria monocytogenes. And these are, yes, deadly, could be deadly on old people as well. But sometimes when they do the interview at the hospital, the mothers do not know what they have eaten 70 days ago. Difficult to identify, no? Because it's got a long period of incubation, okay? Now, Staphylococcus aureus, this one you have to learn by heart because this is the bacteria of the food handlers. You and I could be a porter without knowing, could be under our nails or in the nose or in the mouth, or even when you have a coat, it likes to grow around the little coats. So put a plaster and a glove on top because this bacteria likes to grow around the cut surface of the hand or whatever, okay? But normally it's under, I could be a porter. So because we don't know, it's very useful to clean hands, especially keep the nails short, screw under the nails. Because the chef could do everything right, and then one food handler, a waitress, touch the food, then put the Staphylococcus aureus, then by time even put the toxins, because this is the one that produces the toxin. So even if you reheat the food, you get the Staphylococcus aureus infection. And this is a one that is very fast, from 1 to 7 hours. This is almost immediately. I remember once buying a sandwich from a shop, and 2 hours I was vomiting and diarrhea. Nothing can be done fast. It's got to be a worker touching bad the sandwiches, then put the Staphylococcus aureus, and because it's quick. If they come from 1 to 7 hours, it's got to be this one. Cannot be anything else. And this for bad practices, okay? People bad practices, touching the food inadequate with dirty hands, and on top is got the toxins. So now Bacillus cereus. This is for the rice or cereals. This is when you don't cool the rice properly and you leave the rice warm, okay? Here it says, if you have to keep the rice hot at 63, cook, and here they tell you some good practices. Cook food as quickly as possible. Yeah, when you cook the rice, then cool it and put it in the 2 hours in the fridge. In case of rice, even faster, in 1 hour of cooking. Okay, so you have to cook, cool, and fridge because this one leaves the toxins as well. No, this makes spores. A spore, mira, it does both. A spore and toxins. A spores is like a capsule. These are not bacteria. These are what it leaves behind. So if you leave the rice and watch any rice or cereals, herbs and spices, if you leave it unsupervised for long, warm, then the rice can develop these spores and toxins, and then not even reheating, you can save yourself for, this is quite fast as well, nausea and vomiting, 5 hours. This we call the taxi driver nightmare, because you have your food and go in the taxi and then you start vomiting because somebody in the restaurant didn't left the rice warmish the counter. Tell me.
So when you cook the rice, you have to serve it within 2 hours. You cannot cook, cool it, and give it for another day.
Well, yes, but here it doesn't. It does say, in case of rice, recommend to refrigerate between 1 hour of cooking. If you do that, no spores, then you can reheat.
Okay, I understand.
I would be very careful. If you can use it, the better. For
And-
example, I even do it for my dog. Maybe I keep it chilled, but the same day I give it at night, but that's it. But not use it. Overall. But
Okay.
you could reheat it once. You can reheat things once, even, but they have to be chilled properly, fast.
Yes, yes. And
Because if you don't do that, the spores and the toxins will not be killed by reheating. The problem is
one
that in between times. Sure.
Yeah,
Tell me.
sorry. I just want to, because I don't want to forget it. I was reading in our thing that you sent us, like 63 degrees or above should be the hot cabinet.
Yes.
But I'm thinking, so you reheat meat 75 degrees cold temperature in the thickest part, okay, and after you put it in this hot cabinet that is 63, but after a time the meat go like in 2 or 4 hours, maybe the meat core temperature will go less in the danger zone.
No. Exactly. We're talking about the danger zone. Wait a minute. Okay, danger zone. We have to be aware the danger zone is from 5 to 63. Above
Yes.
5, below 63. Here is the area where the bacteria grow the most. The bacteria will grow around 37, the most. But we want to be as fast as possible away from the danger area, which is the preparation area or the serving area, or when we are cooling things to put it into the fridge. Okay, so let's say in this area no more than 2 hours, and if it's a very hot day or rice, 1 hour. Okay, as fast as you can. Me, all the time when I'm cooking, I'm watching the temperature to make it low down, to put it back in the fridge as soon as the temperature of the food gets to 10 degrees. When it's 10 degrees, put it back in the fridge. Okay, so here 1 hour. Now, we can do refrigeration and freezing. That is good because this slows the growth of the bacteria. So this is 5 for refrigeration and -18 for freezing. Okay, but this is only keeping the numbers the same as we have before. Doesn't kill them. Now, here, 63, we are starting the cooking and the safe temperatures. So you're all right. Cold holding is 5 and hot holding is 63. But normally, hot holding is an open equipment. You cannot keep it more than 2 hours, ideally. Okay, hot holding. Because as you said, it's not just the temperature of the equipment, it's with the food that is inside. If the equipment is at 63, but the food is not at 63, that's not hot holding. Hot holding is the temperature with these bain-marie cabinets, no? For example, I'm sure you've seen it, no? These Nesbits have them, mira. Sure they have it here. You can have a lot of things for the hot holding, no?
Yes, yeah, I know. It's like a wardrobe, the hot thing.
So, bain-marie, no, Nisbet. Yeah. You can even have a cabinet that keeps the food hot for transport.
Yes.
So these cabinets, you will see, let me see, bain-marie, they keep the food above 63. But it's not just the cabinet, it's the food inside, what you have to watch. Never
Yes.
mind the cabinet maybe has the thermostat not indicating the correct, well, this is a small one, but...
Yes, I understand.
No, but looking here in the instructions, it will tell you, now it doesn't tell you, but normally it tells you that this equipment will keep it 63 for 1 hour or 2 hours, but you have to watch it, and obviously you have to keep controlling it. Is
But
that what you're asking?
so 63 is the setting of the heat in the thermobox, right? 60
But
degrees
the food
above.
has to be at 63. The food
And-
also.
And the food should be cold temperature like 63
Yes.
inside, not 70 or 75.
Yes, the minimum 63.
Yeah, the minimum, minimum 63.
Minimum.
Okay.
Okay, yes. But also when you do hot holding, imagine that you've done cooking and then hot holding, no? you've done cooking, and you've gone into hot holding, and 2 hours has passed. You can chill this, you can chill it, and reheat once. That's it.
That's it, yes.
But if you going from cooking, chilling, then reheating, and then hot holding, then you cannot, normally you will not store it again, correct?
Yes, of course.
So this is, but yes, these are the minimum temperatures. If you can keep it hotter, the better. But that's the minimum temperatures for a bee away from the danger zone, where is the area where the bacteria multiply the most. Okay, we are safe here. But not to trust just the thermostat. Probe the food. The equipment should be able to keep the food inside hot. Okay. Let me follow a bit the presentation. I don't want to forget anything. Okay. Now, legislation. This you have to learn. I asked Maite to send you the new presentation. Okay.
Yeah.
She says okay. She will do it. Okay. Vale. I am going to write a version 3. Okay. Now, this legislation, you will have to learn it, is the UK legislation. And this is the most older one, Food Safety Act, that tells you that every food that you produce has to be safe, correct? And also you have to be true to the label. You cannot say in your menu, this is lobster, and then be something else. Okay, you cannot lie to people, correct? That's the first legislation. Then they created other legislations, regulation 219, because now the UK is in Brexit. So they did their own legislation. Well, learn a little bit these numbers. I cannot do anything about this. Learn it. But if you want to know more about this legislation, I go here and look a bit what they say, okay? This is for the owner of a restaurant, for example. This is part of that book I was telling you about the installations. Okay, says, what does it need, this legislation? Yes, you have to keep food, provide food that doesn't injure or cause problems with the health. Make sure the food is the good quality and is not falsely advertised. Okay, that's the basic one. Then so on. Then the legislation require for me to have a HACCP in place. Okay, we know all about HACCP, hazard analysis, key control points. We have to study the hazards, control points, critical limits, monitor it, corrective actions, record it, and review it. And these records have to be available. Okay, and available for the inspectors to inspect. Okay, now the legislation also tells me my food premises have to be in good conditions, like I was telling you before, no? Adequate hand washing, adequate lighting. Why? You need lighting to inspect that everything is clean, correct? If we are in the darkness, how you going to inspect for cleanliness, no? Common sense, no? We need good lighting, good ventilation, so there's no molds growing, things like that. Good surfaces on the floor, on the walls, on the doors, for being able to clean. Everything, all of this is in the legislation. Now we have legislation about equipment for the kitchen, for the food waste containers, water potable, cleaning agents, especially for our kitchen, correct? We are going to use special food cleaning agents, no? With no strong smells, purposely for our catering business, no? Personal hygiene rules is the same. All of this is in the legislation. And it is always referring to this book that I think you should have it on the pack. so many books.
These books, it's global. It's recognized in the whole world.
Yes, this is from the UK, but this is recognized global. This is, for me is 100 pages, but is a very good one
Yeah, I
because
have
he
it.
tells you what to do when things go wrong. No, if something goes wrong, what to do, reheat it. Or here, for example, if you want to train your staff, you can get a training leaflet for hygiene rules, how to clean hands, how to wear your uniform, make sure that you be near, not to be near food, take your jewelry, cover your hair, not to eat and drink near the food, avoid touching the food for the Staphylococcus aureus, keep your wounds covered with a wood blue plaster. So this can be helpful for training how to wash hands, when to wash hands every time you touch food or after the toilet, after the break. So all of this can help you for your supervising role of training people, know how to avoid cross-contamination. This is from raw to cook. Here it tells you how to avoid cross-contamination. So this is a quite complete one and tells you even the type of cloths, no? Because sometimes we clean with dirty cloths and it could be a cross-contamination risk. So these
Yes.
are disposable. And if you don't have disposable, they say use something called boil wash. I didn't know that. I learned it with these courses. That what you do when you use reusable. For example, you can put it, ideally wash clothes, put them in the washing machine in a very hot cycle, 90 degrees, for example. Or if you don't have that, use hand washing and disinfect it by hand, and after apply hot boiling water, for example. Okay? Boiling water is a way of disinfecting as well, no? The temperature for disinfecting is 82 or above for boiling water. 82 should be a good temperature for the dishwasher, the last rinsing cycle. 82 for disinfecting. Or whatever, maybe we run out of disinfectant. Okay, we use soap, whatever, and then we can apply with this cloth the boiling water after cleaning them and soapy water, and then we can use boiling water or disinfectant following the instruction, but do not use bleach, here says. So this is very good for different tips that you can use for day-to-day practices. Okay, separate food. We were telling you about the ready to eat, no? This could be the listeria food, ready to eat quiche. Yes, I cooked it, but I'm gonna eat like a cold snack. I'm not gonna reheat it. I'm gonna eat it as a warm or cold snack. So this could be ready to eat, is what we call high risk foods. Okay. Here is talking about the allergies and anaphylactic reactions and where to find them. And if you are in the UK, call the emergency number to tell you what to do. Okay. Well, so this is quite a good one to have around. Now, the legislation tells you all of this again. Nothing else. Keep hazard. Do a good. Have a good building. Temperature control. Well, here we have the hot holding, and yes, chill gives you 8, but ideally the danger zone is 5. This is just for points that it could be in certain points. Okay. Some food are exempt. Bakery products that have to be used quickly, canned food, dry food, because these are secure food. Okay. So they don't need to be under chilling. Okay.
And
Put this.
about legislations, what is annex?
What is what?
Annex.
Annex means, where do you see the annex? Annex means an extra document. Where do you find annex?
In the seminar, it say like due to annex for example, something like this.
This means on the, like an addendum to the document, like more information at the end. Nothing
Okay.
else. You will need to check more information. Well, all of this is in the legislation. This is what you were telling us about informing the customer about the 14 more common allergens, and any that's what's in the legislation. But yes, for the exam, please learn the numbers, because sometimes they ask you the numbers. I don't know why, but they do.
Okay.
Okay, my presentation is here. Yes. Now, another thing. I have the obligation of putting HACCP in place in my, let's say I want to open a sushi bar, okay? And I'm the owner. I have the obligation to put HACCP in place because I own the business, okay? And then we'll have to have the record, the training, the supervisor, but overall it's my responsibility, okay? But everybody on the food chain has their own responsibility. If I hire a supervisor, of course, he has to rely and check the records as well. And a worker, any food handler, has to do the rules. Otherwise, I can fire him and he can go also to court. Because I also have other requirements that we talked about. Equipment has to be in good condition, food waste has to be kept to a minimum, and the bins should be no overflowing, attracting pests on that side of my restaurant. Water supply has to be drinkable. We cannot just use poison water. Cleaning agents, we have to keep cleaning chemicals away from food, so there's no cross-contamination. Rinse contact surface. Personal hygiene, we all have to follow the hygiene rules and tell when you are ill, okay? When you are ill, you have to wait 48 hours without symptoms before you can go back to work, okay? So that's what people do wrong. They come back to work too soon. If I have diarrhea today, tomorrow I can feel well, and I can say, oh, I can come to work. No. 2 days free of symptoms. So I cannot go back to work. Let's say tomorrow I'm okay, when tomorrow and Wednesday. So I go back to work on Thursday. Okay? People go back too soon and they are still porters of the food poisoning bacteria. Okay, more raw materials kept in good storage. Training. I have to give you training. Now, depending on the person, they will have to have level 1 or level 2 or level 3, correct? If he's a waitress, maybe with level 1 is enough. They need to learn how to follow the rules, wash hands, not to touch the food.
Dress code, nails.
But depending on the more, let's say I hire an assistant for you, then maybe we'll give them level 3, and you as a supervisor, no, sorry, we can give them level 2, and you as a supervisor, you need to have level 3 because you will be the overall watching everybody and giving them advice when they're doing it wrong. So it is a question on the exam, what type of training, depending on the job person, then it could be level 1 or level 2 or level 3, depending on the complexity of the job. But they all have to follow the rules by law, okay? It's not just me. Now, the local authorities is the people that will enforce the law. This, I think, there is a question about that. Okay, enforce the law means they are having inspectors going around. Inspectors are what they call authorized officers, and they can come around the businesses to make with a checklist and inspect my premises and they can give me penalties, monetary penalties, or even close the restaurant, or even take me to jail if I cause a major food poisoning. So, yes, enforcement means who is applying the law. Don't let you worry for this sentence. This means who is making sure the law is being applied. This is the local authorities, the town hall. They have a group of inspectors dedicated. For example, they do the same as me, but I work for the private sector and they work for the public sector. Okay, I do the same as them, but I am hired by the restaurant owner. But they come from the authorities. But they are the people that will enforce the law, make sure the law is being followed. So local authorities is the enforcement of the law, of the food law, okay? And they do routine inspection. And sometimes can have a visit after a complaint. Okay, if I go to the authorities and call them, I eaten in Nuria Sushi's bar and I've been sick all night and I have food poisoning. So they'll send an inspector, they'll take swab samples with this or a stick with the cotton bead for my surfaces. They may take samples of food in my fridge, take it to the laboratory, and they make sure that what bacteria are growing on them. Sometimes nowadays we have DNA on the bacteria because the bacteria is live, and like we are live, we have DNA. So if it's a major outbreak, that costs around 700 euros. It's a bit expensive. They don't do it every time. But if I cause 1, 2, 3, 4 food poisoning, then by DNA, with the feces of the person that has diarrhea in the hospital, let's say they have Salmonella typhi. This is a type of Salmonella. This is what we call a serotype. And this has certain DNA. And I have in my restaurant, in my mince, they have the Salmonella typhi. This means I caused the outbreak. I go to jail. It's a DNA like a fingerprint, no? For the criminals. We cannot escape. And now this is 700 euros, but with time, the price will become lower. So they are doing it now already, but they are using it when there is a major outbreak of food poisoning, okay? But yes, the inspectors can come and investigate a problem, okay? Or complaint. Now, what else do? They can take photographs. Sometimes they only give you a small advice or serve you with what we call a hygiene improvement notice. This is a letter like a penalty, but this is mild penalty, like please replace all your chopping boards in 5 days. Okay, here your improvement notice, and then when you're doing that, problem solved. But sometimes they can block the fridges, put some red tape, seize the food, okay? Or recommend me for prosecution if it's a very serious case. So I could have to go to court and maybe end up in jail or paying a fine. Sometimes they do an hygiene emergency provision notices. This means that they close the restaurant, okay? So they're very powerful. From a small advice, from hygiene improvement notices with a list of things, broken tiles, repair your lights, block drainage, blah, 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 or big fines, or even closing. Now, what else? Yes, another name for inspector in the UK is environmental health officer. This is a professional name in the UK. But these are other names for inspector. Environmental health officer, trading standard officers, enforcement officers. Okay, all of this is these inspectors that are coming from the town hall. Okay. Yeah. So far, so good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, and they have a lot of power, and they can put fines or give me just a little advice, depending. This is the type of fines or improvement. We said it was a lower one. Repair your tiles, or prohibition order. Do not use this fridge or any contents, or emergency prohibition order. My restaurant gets closed. Now, this is certain penalties that they can be depending on my food offences. £5,000, 6 months in jail. Depending, the amount of money can be higher, depending of what I've done, no? Depending if I killed somebody. Sometimes it could be end up in prison 2 years. But this doesn't mean that a consumer can sue me in the civil court. And that's another trial. So I don't know, a mother, I killed a child. Well, they can take me to court, a personal court, between me and her, a civil court. And that could be, I have to end up paying 100,000 euros or a million, or depending on what I've done. If I done a mistake, or I done it on purpose, or I'm not being following the rules. Obviously, the judge has this into consideration. Now, here is when the hazard plan comes. The records of your hazard plan is the insurance of your job well done. That is your defense in case of these problems. Because maybe the problem was not you. Maybe it was the raw materials that you bought. They were poisonous or heavily contaminated. So there will be an investigation on that, okay? The inspectors will do an investigation. But keep your hazard records. Keep the records for your insurance, apart from being a legal requirement, okay? Now, this is what we talked a little bit. We have the danger zone in between 5 and 63, and particularly around 37, where bacteria grow the most. And we are safe on the blue and in the red. Now, food deliveries. Okay, anything chill from 0 to 5, maximum 8, I would say. And for frozen, -18. Okay, -18 plus -3, which is up to -15 you can accept for frozen goods. Because in the transport, they could lower a bit the temperatures, okay? So this has to be checked on arrival. Anything away from these temperatures has to be discarded, returned to the supplier, not accepted, okay? Now, I think there is a question on the exam about dairy goods. Dairy is anything to do with cheese, milk,
Yogurt, yeah.
Yeah, yogurts. Okay, because this is refrigerated, we'll keep it at 5 degrees. Okay,
Yeah.
maximum. So this is a question on the when to accept. Now, if the truck, what happened if the truck has left? Well, then you put a notice on the food not to touch until the truck arrives. You retain the food in a retain, or put a paper not to touch, not to use, do not use, and that will put it in hold until the supplier picks it up and collects it. Or maybe sometimes the supplier, I'll call and the supplier say, destroy the food. I'll return the monies. And then you can destroy the food, okay? But
Yeah.
we'll never use any food above temperatures, because that means the bacteria has grown in high numbers during this transport, or something has happened here. Okay. Now, questions?
Can I ask
No?
about the freezer? So in the freezer, -18 or -20, the bacteria are just frozen. They just not make more bacteria. Okay. So sorry?
They're alive.
Yes, but they just don't reproduce. But in the freezer that is -40, it's tuna freezer, for example.
It doesn't matter. They're still alive.
So we are not putting, because I know that we put some fishes in the freezer, they say to destroy the bacteria. Is this true or no? No.
Maximum you can do is destroy the parasites. Yes, that
Okay.
yes. So, for example, I know for anisakis that you will need minus 25, I think, uh, because normal freezer runs at minus 18, correct?
Yes.
But anisakis, I believe it was lower than that.
It's
It
minus
was,
20, it was written.
yeah, but I would say it was even lesser. Other things that I read, it was 48 hours minus, let me
Okay.
see. Uh, because
But
this is a legislation in Manisakis.
and
But
after you can eat this, because I see in many restaurants they have fish, especially from Atlantic coast, like cod, full of these white germs, and they just cook this.
well, a veure, okay, here this is minus 20, okay, minus 10 or 24 hours and minus 18 during 5 days, okay? But that will be our critical limit. You have to respect that. And it could be in a squid, and a squid as well. And okay, certain species are more susceptible, okay? Now, if you are visually seeing the parasites,
Yes,
okay, is the product being frozen before or is it chilled?
it's frozen. It was frozen.
It was completely frozen.
Yes.
Well, it should be safe. It should be safe.
And you
But
can eat this because we serve this fucking shit and people eat this anasakis.
yeah, but okay, you are asking me if it's safe, and the answer is yes, because it's been frozen. But the law says that heavily contaminated fish
Yeah.
should not even go for frozen. I would say they are using bad suppliers here. And I would at least discard the most visible part. Okay. I would discard the heavily contaminated. But for
Yeah.
one, nothing happens because it's frozen.
Yes. It's like this. Yes.
But you will not kill anybody because if it's been deep frozen, not just a few hours in the minus 18.
Yes.
But
Yes.
freezing don't kill. Freezing doesn't kill the bacteria, okay? Not even a minus 40.
But
What a way.
so for anisakis, if you freeze anisakis and after you can serve the people, this is why, because they kill the anisakis like this, right?
Yes, yes, it's killed. Yes, it's killed. Yeah,
Because of the
definitely.
freezer.
Yes.
So in a way, freezer kill the bacteria. This one.
No, 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 because there's a parasite. Bacteria and the bacteria parasites are different than bacteria.
Yes. Okay. So the freezer can kill parasites, but not
And no
bacteria or
bacteria.
okay, I understand. Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes, yes.
just in case. No, no, but no. Okay, carry on. Let's carry on. Okay, temperatures. Yes, we have ambient stores for dry goods. I'm going to show you perhaps a video of dry goods. Let's see if we can, maybe we can show a video. Yes, I think this, I'll do it with a couple of videos. Yes, we're doing the danger zone. Yes, we're doing a couple of videos. This is the official videos of this Food Standard Agency.
Okay.
Oh, why does it not? Wait a minute. Yes,
Can I visit bathroom while you find the video?
yes, yes.
Thanks.
Yes, 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 please. Can I just, I don't know why the videos don't work today. Today doesn't, it's Monday today. Now they're open to these videos.
I can
No.
have a look after if you want. Just send me the
No,
link.
no, don't worry. See, I know where they are, but normally they are very, perhaps when I did this presentation, they're all from the same place. They are from the Food Standard Agency. But I think these videos are a bit basic for you, but we can have a quick look and then just stopping in the right
Yeah.
part. Okay?
Do you have any like checks I can make questionnaires before? I was looking in the internet to find some questionnaires for test, and I make one too, but not so much.
Yes, we have one that is in our pack of things. Let's see.
I make them already. Yeah.
Please, vale. Don't worry because I am going to make you some questions to see. But you understood the questions. You made that level quiz. You made that one.
Yeah.
And did you find it difficult or not?
This one I don't have it. It's first time I see it.
No. Well. Okay, then I'm sending it right now to Maite.
Okay.
And I'm gonna text her now.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. That's because I'm sending it right now. We can do some of it together. Well, no, this you can do it on your own because you have all the answers there. Sorry about that. It's because the computer's overheating. Right. But all day, 17 hours today. I don't know. That's it. No, just that's it. I made it a bit of a, I have a little fun. It's a good computer, it's a very good computer. Ya está. Okay. Pero wait. We have this exam. Okay. Okay, trec això. Pros now. Are you still there?
Yes, yes.
Okay. No, it's because okay. No, I know what's happened. It cannot put it because I don't know why they don't worry because if they're marking yellow, doesn't matter. The cross is the correct answer, okay? When you see the cross means this is the correct answer.
Okay. And you cannot send me? I can make a photo now?
Okay, you want it, but I sending it to Maite, but yes, we can see it together if you want. I can send it to you through here, maybe in the link.
Yeah.
I can drag it here.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me know if you can download it, okay?
Yeah. I have it, I think.
Okay. Oh my God. Oof. That's because I was with my heating at 30 degrees. No wonder I'm hot.
Yeah. Now you're in Spain, in Barcelona,
Yes,
and it's hot.
yes. Can you believe it? I've been all over the world and I never been to Greece. I cannot believe myself. I've got friends in there. No, and I've got friends. My friend live in Thessaloniki, so I think
Ah,
it's cold.
yeah, it's like second capital.
Ah, okay. Yes, then, but I cannot believe myself. I've never been. I would like to go. I'm sure the food is very nice.
It's yeah, but Spain I think has better food, to be honest.
Well, I suppose you all have your specialities, no?
Yes, sure we have. Like Spain. I always say that Greece like Spain.
Yeah, Mediterranean countries, very similar, no?
Yes.
Well,
I get it, but I have a problem with my it's not the document.
it's not a document.
Y- Yeah, I try, but it's not fitting good, so it's one.
Why can you not read it good? It's not a, did it not show as a Word document?
Yes, it's not like a word, but this is because of my computer. I think it's not because of your fault.
We can watch it together if you want. We can do it together.
Yes, yes, yes,
Let's
yes.
let's have a little 5 minutes of questions. For example, if I ask you what is the danger zone? Let me see your face. Let me see. Wait a minute, because I have so many screens.
Yes. Can I? Yeah.
Danger
Can I?
zone. Yes. Oh my God, where are you now? Wait.
Yes.
Now you're here. So if I ask you what temperature is in the danger zone, what would you tell me?
37.
No, the danger zone is between what temperatures?
It's between five to 60.
63. Okay,
63.
okay, to 5 to 63. Okay, remember the little. No, it's good, so we can do it together. I've got an old exam. Sometimes they're not the same questions, but at least we can practice a bit. Okay. Okay, so if you're looking here, the danger zone is from 5 to
63.
below 63. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
yes, you have to know this by heart. Um, Here we have, if we have prawn shells, how we will remove the shells of the prawns? By sieving whilst draining?
By hands.
So you will observe by one, you will do observation, picking the pieces out of by hand, no? You will do one by hand.
Yes, of course. Yes.
Okay. Okay, and that will reduce the risk to an acceptable level. Okay, you will touch it and see if it's not eggshells to do the sandwich, for example. Yeah, I agree with you.
Yes, because of the contamination that is like not physical, like not chemical,
Okay,
biological.
excellent. What surface is not suitable for food contact? Unsealed wood, marble, stainless steel, melamine tops. What is not suitable? Unsealed wood, marble, stainless steel, melamine tops.
I think the wood and the
The wood.
melamine.
No, the I would say when they say which one,
It's
only
one.
one,
Okay.
because otherwise they will tell you which of those. They will tell plural. Okay, always
Okay.
unsealed wood. Melamine sometimes has a coating that is plasticized. Then you can clean it with detergents. Okay,
Okay.
and marble is an old type of surface, but you can use it. It's disinfected. It's not very common these days, but and stainless steel obviously is the best one.
Yes.
But always unsealed wood not good because it's porous. We don't
Yes.
want porous material. So be careful of reading which one. Vale. What temperature we need to put the dishwasher to disinfect the last rinse?
84 or 86?
No,
84.
82. 82.
Ah,
The math, write it down, write it down, write it down. 82
yes.
is for disinfecting. Well, you were quiet there. You knew it was in the 80s.
Yeah.
Okay. What is best practice when you wash hands? Water should be warm at a maximum of 20.
No.
To have a bar of soap? No.
Yeah,
You
no.
don't clean with bar of soaps. The
No.
water should be, we said 38.
38 until 40.
Water,
40
a maximum temperature of 8. No, 8 degrees doesn't clean well the hands. This is something that you may not know. There should be separate sinks for washing hands and for equipment. You know that?
Yes,
Okay.
of course.
Yes, because when you wash equipment, then you splash dirt and then you wash hands in a dirty equipment. Either also you don't wash hands on top of equipment. So you will keep two things. Okay, good for you. Who has the responsibility for enforcement the law? The employee, the local magistrate, the health and safety executive, or the local environmental health practitioner?
The second one.
No, the local enforcement the law means I will make it follow. The local magistrate is at the end when they are sending you to jail. But the first person that will come to me is the environmental health practitioner. I'm going to write it here. The inspectors are the first ones to make sure that we comply. It's like the policeman, no? Who enforce the law in the streets, no? The policeman, no? But in this case, for the food, is this professional called environmental officer or practitioner. These are sent by the local authority to make sure I do the right thing, and they will issue me a license for opening and then follow-up visits. So these are the ones that enforce the law. It's like the policeman. And the local magistrate, they will execute the law. No, they will do the final send in jail.
Yeah.
What else? What do we need to monitor in HACCP? Well, in HACCP, we need to monitor something we have called
the control critical limits.
Exactly, the CCPs, which is the critical control points. Have to be monitored and recorded. Okay. Now, what a food handler has as training? A normal food handler, level 3, level 2, level 1, or relevant training appropriate for their food handling duties? Well, depending on what the job is.
Yeah, correct. But I could say the last one.
No, because here you don't know what this food handler is going to be doing. Because you as a chef, you're also food handler. The problem is that in this question, they don't tell you what job you're going to be doing. You say food handler is you as a chef or the supervisor or even a waitress. We are all food handlers. But depending on the job post, you will have less or more training. So for me, the right question is depending of the job duties. If you are a supervisor, you need level 3. But if you are a plain waitress, if the question tells me you are a waitress and you are just a waitress, then yes, food level 1. But if you don't know a general food handler, we are all food handlers. From the top supervisor to the
The
You
last
see,
one.
sometimes it can be tricky, huh? Okay, what an allergen cause? We had here different questions, but we said it cause such and such shock.
Anaphylaxis.
Anaphylactic shock, very good. So they're not so difficult, but obviously you have to be reading the questions out well. Eh?
Can I
We
take
do-
a picture of them if you can share the screen?
No, I cannot show you that. I can show you the other quiz. Let me see.
Yeah.
Because these are real questions of real exam. I do not allow, we can allow you to do this. Let's do it together, for example.
Yes.
A veure, select the incorrect, well, here we can maybe block this. I'll make it bigger, so it's more interesting for you. But I'll make it bigger and you don't see the answers.
Yes.
Oy, oy, oy. Well, the first one, you'll see the answers, but not the other ones. Oh, damn it.
I will not look. I just really want to check myself.
Yes, it says, a veure, the supervisor role includes communicating hygiene rules. Please select careful, read careful, the incorrect answer. Eh? So you will communicate the rules. You will ensure staff has appropriate resources. Yes. Ensuring staff enjoy their work.
Yeah, that's it. Yes, see, it's the answer.
Yes. You don't need to, well, if they don't enjoy it, you can find another job. Okay. Has a prerequisites. What are they? Preconditions.
The
Okay.
C.
Yes, I would say yes. Yes. Which is not a main duty of a food business operator. To ensure that all employees are supervised, which is not. So we have to find what I don't, me as a business owner, to ensure the food is safe to eat, to ensure the hazard-based food safety manual is in place, to ensure the premises are visited annually. Okay. I would say the last one. What do you think? Because this is not my responsibility. They will come anyway.
Yes, yes.
Exactly. They will come, but this is not my responsibility. Correct?
Yes.
This is the local authority to enforce the rules and the legislation, sending the inspectors or environmental health officer. Okay, these are the food safety officers. What they cannot do: demand access to food premises at a reasonable time. Ask for food to see if it is good.
Yeah, I
See,
think this one.
well, but yeah, it makes you think a little bit. Some are easy. Now, a veure here. Temperatures. Which temperature is ideal for the growth of most bacteria?
This is why before it's the 37 because
37. Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
but I make this mistake and after I will answer B between 5 and 63, you know, because this is
Yes,
a
I know
danger
when you
zone.
see it written down is better than when I talk. Yes, you're right. Especially when you and me not being natives, of course. Okay. Wow. This cleaning, we not get here yet. Cleaning 6 steps. I don't know about this. Don't worry
Okay.
for that. They don't ask that.
Okay.
A veure, this is how to prevent cross-contamination. Let's see. Use separate areas, surface and equipment for raw and highly risk ready-to-eat foods.
Yeah.
Yes. Cleaning everything. Wash hands between hands. Oh, wow. The B, clean and disinfect equipment daily. Okay, because yes, you have to clean. No, because
It's incorrect. It's incorrect answer. Yeah, okay.
You see, you have to be careful with the questions.
Yes. Oh,
Otherwise, don't go rushing. Use your
Yeah.
full hour. Protective clothing should cover all personal clothing. Also, the incorrect answer. Have no outside pockets or buttons. Be fashionable. Be clean and in good conditions.
Yeah, see, because it's incorrect.
Well, let me send you this because I don't want you to be out of time. Let me ask Maite. I'm gonna put it right now in the WhatsApp for Maite.
Yeah, perfect.
But yes, you also have to be reading careful the question, okay? Because sometimes it's English exam more than a
Yes, exactly. More than a HASP exam. Yes.
yes. I don't know why it doesn't go this. No, because it says I've got it open somewhere. I don't know. No, it's because I want to do that immediately so we don't get vale, okay. Let's carry on with the presentation because I don't want to miss anything out, okay?
Okay.
A veure. Don't worry for the videos because you know everything is in the text anyway. The videos was about keeping the temperatures chilled, frozen, the dry storage, okay? Refrigeration, that's the same. Frozen, cooking, okay? Different types of cooking. We've seen the formulas. Reheating has to be fully cooked again, fully reheated. We cannot just warm it slightly. No, if you reheat, we have to bring it back to the temperatures. Okay. Hot holding food is got to be at least 63 minimum, and then you have to record that and keep it records. The danger zone. This is for chilling food in different portions, smaller portions, just in case. Yes, when you don't have a blast chiller, normally in the large restaurants, we can chill food from hot with the blast chiller, correct?
Yes.
You know what a blast chiller is, no? But
Yes.
if you don't have these capacities, then you have to get too many screens open. I don't know what's wrong with this. I feel bad. Yes, when you don't have the capacity of a blast chiller, they do, doesn't matter, I can explain you. They do an ice bath. You know, when they put the ice cubes into the sink and then you put your pots in there, but that's very primitive way. That's if it's a small kitchen that you don't have a, but normally you have to cool things very quickly, no? That's another example of cooling. To be away from the danger zone, eh? Now, I wanted to explain you a little bit more cooking about the bacteria because you already know that. Now, bacteria can come from people as well, so we have to keep our appearance uniform. The uniform is to prevent us contaminating the food, okay? So we protect because that's from the street. So we put a clean uniform so we cannot contaminate the food. Now, we have to control our tools, no? We normally use, like we've seen on the on the allergens, we use color-coded chopping boards, for example, no? And that will allow not cross-contaminate from different colors, no? Per chopping boards. Here we have. Yes, for example, here, this is good practice. Every chopping board is for a different thing. So we can then use it with this label, and chefs will know when to use for raw fish red, for raw meat red, raw fish blue, cooked meats orange, and then, no, not orange, this kind of yellow, okay? So we can then use it, every chopping board, different color. Then we can then clean and not mix the bacteria from one thing to the other. No, that's a good practice to avoid cross-contamination. No, every type of food has their own chopping board, but some kitchens they use just white. But this means every time you have to clean it and disinfect it perfect. Okay, doesn't mean that because you have color doesn't have to be clean. This means that is less likely to pass, let's say, Campylobacter from the raw meat into cooked meats, because that surface could be from the raw chicken, could have Campylobacter, for example. So this is a tool to prevent cross-contamination. Sometimes we work in different areas of the kitchen, and especially washing hands when we touch raw and then food that we call high risk or ready to eat. High risk or ready to eat is the food that we're going to eat without cooking. A sandwich or a snack, things like that, a salad. We have to be more careful because it's not got the cooking step, the killing step. To control high risk foods, some people use gloves, but you can use very clean hands. But especially hygiene, extreme hygiene, everything extremely clean for avoiding cross-contamination and chilling temperatures. So we can then prepare this salad in a very clean surface, then put every ingredient in the fridge ready for serving or put it in a display buffet. But it's the only tools we have for fighting bacteria, the temperatures and the hygiene, because it's not cooking a step here. So we need to make sure people don't touch these high-risk foods because they come directly into my mouth, correct? Now, physical contamination, we will clean, wash, sieve, filter, anything that we need for preparing the food, okay? Even inspecting by hand the prawns, as you were saying, okay? Okay, if it's a liquid, we could filter it, no? Or if it's a dry ingredient, we could sieve it, like a flour or something like that, no? Okay, so be careful with anything broken around you, especially also with pests. We don't want to be a foreign body, okay? But do not use perfume because the food attracts the perfume, especially the fatty food, and everything will smell. When we use cleaning chemicals, has to be neutral smell, non-strong smell, for food contact surfaces. Otherwise, you pass the smell pine or lemon into the food. Now, allergic contaminations. Remember my brother, first I do his dish because I have a small kitchen. If not, you do it in separate areas or different colored chopping boards. Purple is used for allergens in that set of allergens. Yeah, in that set of tools that we have there. Yes, you will have to have no rings, no earrings. We talked about that. When you are ill, they need to report it to you as a supervisor and make sure 2 days away at home until they don't have symptoms. And if I've been in contact with somebody that has food poisoning, you have to wait 2 days until to see if I develop another symptoms. Okay, so you know all of that. Okay, when do I have to tell the supervisor? when they have a nose drop blockage with infection, skin infection, acne, ear infection, because then you do this and then you touch the food. Tooth infection, eye infection, don't wear near food, open food. When you have a cut, protect it. Remember the Staphylococcus aureus in our nails and growing around the cuts. Now, here, no video, but the lady is doing the hand washing with hot water, 38, liquid soap, and drying with paper towel or air dryer. But important that when we wash hands, our hands are dry because bacteria grows well in water. Okay, so we don't want the wet hands. We can dry the hands and then apply alcohol for disinfectant. That's okay. That can be evaporating because bacteria don't grow in alcohol. But if we only do hand washing, always has to be dry, the hand, okay? Now, cleaning. This is the sixth step of cleaning. Okay. My God, now somebody, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay, somebody in the house is doing bricolage. Espera, I'm going to call them not to do it. Yes, it's find out. Okay, cleaning can be done in 6 steps. My God. Now they stop. Okay. Now, cleaning, pre-cleaning. First, we have to take the debris away, okay? Then we use detergent. Then we rinse. Then we apply the disinfectant. That's when we apply cleaning and disinfection, okay? Cleaning and disinfection, the detergent will take the grease and the debris and the dirt. And then the disinfection will reduce the bacteria, but the surface will not be zero. It's the same than when we washing hands. This is not zero. We're not in a chirophan. We're not operating. We are working in a clean kitchen, but not sterilized. So disinfection will reduce bacteria to a safe level. So if we started with 1,000 bacteria, after cleaning and disinfection, maybe we'll have 10 bacteria. So that is safe to prepare food, but is not going to be zero. Then we rinse, and at the end, we dry or let air dry. This means we don't have to leave water inside the equipment, because if we leave water, bacteria needs water, bacteria will multiply, then it can develop inside the equipment, for example. So that is the 6th step of cleaning and disinfection. Now, cleaning, we can use other things. We could use a steam. For example, let me see, we have here, well, these are domestic, but we have professional ones, no? The steam, this is like a little suitcase, and this will produce a steam for cleaning, degreasing, and cleaning. And sometimes this can be used, here we have the lady, for example. This can be used with detergent or just with the steam, because this is 100 degrees. So at the same time that you clean, will disinfect, will kill bacteria with that. So that's a way of cleaning without no disinfection, because the high temperature of the steam will disinfect and degrease the kitchen, no? For a deep cleaning, no? Kira's day cleaning other things. But yes, these are good for not other methods of cleaning. or boiling water, we said, no? The boiling cycle or the last cycle, as long as it's 82, this could be cleaning. What else? Yes, cleaning chemicals have not to be mixed, always kept with the label. That's common sense, not to mix with food. By cleaning, we need energy. We need hot water because the detergents are better with hot water and some chemical to remove the dirt and the grease. Okay? So, and be careful with the cleaning mops, like we've seen before, no? Either disposable, or at the end of the day, you put it into the dishwasher, 90 degrees, or at the end of the day, you will have to do this boil wash or apply some disinfectant solution. Disinfectant do not kill spores and toxins. That's one of the problems as well. Okay? It will reduce bacteria, but nothing for spores and toxins. Chemical, heat, steam, that's different ways of disinfecting. Normally, we apply chemicals, no? A product, let's wait 5 minutes, then you rinse it and dry it. But yes, as you can see in the video, heating or boiling or steam could be other ways of disinfecting. Now, this is something we use in the business called clean as you go. It's easy, clean as you go. Clean as you go along. Don't leave everything dirty and clean as you go along. Or if it's any spillage, you will have to clean it. Otherwise, things become dirty soil, and that's food for the bacteria. So we need to, when we have the opportunity, keep cleaning. Even we have a product called sanitizer, which is detergent and disinfectant all in once, and that could be spray one, detergent, and the same spray, the disinfection for door panels or door fridges and panels and things like that. You can use maybe one of these fast cleaning methods. We have to follow the cleaning schedules that you have to put in place, following the instruction of the chemicals. Waste. We have to keep waste to a minimum because waste bins can be dangerous if they're overflowing. They attract pests and the juices are dirty, fall on the floor. So keep waste sealed minimum and keep emptying it regularly to not attract pests. Make sure outside your building, if you have a restaurant, keep the waste lidded so do not attract pests coming into your restaurant or flies going into your restaurant. This is a video for hot cleaning, but this is just the lady applying detergent and then drying and then putting the disinfectant, nothing else. Temperature controls, again. Okay, this is the tools we have around us. We have to have everything under condition, potable water, electricity, gas. Otherwise, we have to call a maintenance supplier, no? The same for the waste. We have to have, this is what is the prerequisites, no? We have to have a waste company that collects the waste, no? Normally, it's the local authorities that collect the waste. If we have a pest problem, we have to call a service, no? Now, careful with the smoke, dust, and smells. If there's any factory around us, okay? We don't want to have an open window and all the gases from the circulation coming into the kitchen, for example, with all the flies and everything. Because for keeping the pests, the best, this isn't a question on the exam. What do you do to keep the pests away? Flies, mice, cockroaches. We have to put what we call physical barriers, which means keep your doors and windows closed. Simple as that. If you have to have them open, you will have to have a fly screen. Yes, when you are preparing food, you will work in a logical manner, linear manner. So you don't touch dirty raw, then uncook, then cook, and then back to the raw, because then you will cross-contaminate. You have to plan your sequence, no? When you do a job, maybe clean everything, go for the next job, so you don't cross-contaminate. from dirty to clean or from raw to cook. Common sense, you know that. Cracks, peeling paint, all of this is bad repairs. That could be the authorities putting you a fine. One of them, improvement notice. Maybe you cannot work if you don't have potable water, no? The doors have to be self-closing to prevent pests. All of this is preconditions. Lighting, good. What else? Equipment. Yes, equipment has to be for the kitchen. Okay, like clean chopping boards, not too worn out, non-corrosive, non-toxic, durable. Okay, non-rusty, non-wood, non-porous. Now, pests. Let's see if I can illustrate this for you. Pest, I have here a fly, for example. Anything touched by a pest, you have to throw it away, okay? If you have a pest infestation like a mice or cockroaches, you cannot use the food that's been touched by pests. Here you have flies, different flies, depending on the type of the year, time of the year and food. But when you see a fly here, the fly can transmit pathogens. 200 bacteria can be transmitted by flies because they go to the rubbish or feces, then go into my food. So any place with flies, I won't eat. I find it's not because of the fly, it's because it transmits bacteria. So it is not safe. Okay. And then this is tips they give you, no? Keep your garbage covered. Store your garbage away from the rear entrance. Clip your grass outside the building. Reduce light inside so the fly can be attracted to it. Not direct light. If you have an electric fly killer, always away from the door because the fly cannot see the light directly. Best is create a barrier. Keep windows and doors shut. Use an air curtain, a plastic curtain. Sometimes they create a positive air pressure. Well, that's tips that you can use.
Send me this also. This is very nice.
Oh yes, I can send it to my. There are. I believe there are some in the booklet, but yeah, it's no problem. This is publicity, but this is. I have one for fly, one for cockroach, because cockroach. It is. Important the cockroach doesn't get into the cracks. Why do we not have a crack tile? Because the crack tile is good for cockroaches to put eggs. And 2 cockroaches do 250,000 babies per year. So they multiply very fast. And they spread bacteria with their body. Here is the cockroach spreading the bacteria in a petri dish, E. coli. Okay, and this cockroach will have to be eliminated by professionals, and the professionals even have to put injections in the cracks because they go into the small cracks. They input eggs. Difficult to eliminate, they're very difficult to eliminate. And they like the warm places, hookahs, behind the cookers, and things like that. Okay. Yes. Well, this is all of the things you can put to prevent from. That's for the mice. The mice spread with the saliva. The mice chew, and then with their body they spread a lot of viruses. Here we have E. coli, Salmonella, cholera, anthrax, diphtheria. It's not just the complaint of the animal. Is that the bacteria and viruses that they transmit. They're happy, nothing happens to them, but we get the disease. This is the fly one and the cockroach one. This is a guy checking for pests in the storage. This is a nice storage, all covered, all sealed, all covered in this type of containers, but so they cannot be attacked by pests. And from time to time, do an inspection on the stock, make sure there's no pests, infestation. Microbiological. Now, a bit of the last 15 minutes, let's talk again about the bacteria. Every 10-12 minutes, the bacteria are split in two. So they multiply very quickly. Is for this we said 1 hour, 2 hours in the danger zone, no more, because we can end up having millions of bacteria. If some bacteria survive the cooking and we leave them in the danger zone, food warm and supervised, then that could grow, even reproduce the toxins and spores. So what the bacteria needs to live? They need food or even debris, any bits of dirt, that's food for bacteria. Warm, around 37. Then they need to mirror here is the activity of the water. The flour has 0.65 and pure water is 1. And bacteria need quite a lot of water, above 0.95. So when we dry things, we are safe, no? Like a dry salami or dry ham or dry fish. We a lot of dry cod in this country. And then that fish has to be put in water because it's like a piece of paper. I don't know if you ever seen them. Do you have dry cod in your country? Do you not use dry fish? No.
But I have katsabushi, dry bonito, Japanese food. I know dry fish.
Okay, then yeah, exactly. They're similar because they are so dry, nothing will grow because bacteria need water. Now, acidity. Okay, look, you were asking before. So this is what they grow from 6 to 8. So anything below that is good for not growing. Okay, lemon juice, vinegar, or other acids, additives. Sometimes they have preservatives in the industry. Citric acid, they call it. Now, bacteria mostly, they need oxygen. But careful because the bacteria that need oxygen, they are the majority. And they call aerobic bacteria.
Yes.
Then there are bacteria that grow in vacuum pack. Everybody thinks vacuum pack is fantastic, but things can grow in vacuum pack, which are the anaerobic bacteria, which mean grow without oxygen. This is the Clostridium botulinum, which is the one that used to be in cans. You know, when you had before our grandmothers, bloated cans with inflated, that was Clostridium botulinum that had survived the canning, and that created spores and bloated the cans. And because they can grow without little oxygen. Now, these spores of the bacteria, they're not destroyed by anything, okay? They're not destroyed. This is a question on the exam, not even by cooking or nothing. The only thing that destroys the spores of the Clostridium botulinum is what we call the canning industry. Canning industry now is very safe. So if we have a can, this has been submitted to pressure and temperature. So that is the only thing that makes the spores. The spores are like a ball, and the pressure makes the ball to explode. But obviously, we don't have the technology for canning. We don't have what we call autoclave, no, for doing cans. In the factory, they use what we call Ritor or autoclaves. It's like a large pressure cooker. Sorry. Ritor, no, images. See, this is here, for example. This is in the industry. This, you put the cans here, and this is like a large pressure cooker, like similar to the one we use for the vegetables. And here we have the food, hot temperature and pressure. And that will make the cans safe because they will explode any spores of the Clostridium botulinum. But obviously, we have to be careful because we don't have such a technology. I will not eat any preserve cooked at home. You know these jars?
Yes,
No.
yes. With pate, yes, I know. Marmalade, yes, I know.
No, marmalade is different because marmalade has the sugar as well.
Yeah, a natural preservative.
Yes, but normal people in this country, they go and get mushrooms and then they can, or artichokes, or
Yes,
can.
yes, yes.
You need to know what you're doing because otherwise you can have botulism from these preserves. Because you're doing it at home with a boiler, but it's not like this canning. Okay, so some bacteria produce toxins, but toxins are not bacteria. Toxin is the poison left by the bacteria. Okay, which ones? For example, Clostridium perfringens, Staphylococcus aureus, the one from our nails. Now, this is the same as the ones before. Salmonella, we said poultry, raw meat, egg, quite fast, and will give diarrhea and will go in 7 days. Then we have the Staphylococcus aureus. This was the fastest. We said this was, I eat, I go to the toilet, 2 hours, diarrhea, vomit, but also goes quite quickly, 24 hours. So that is food handler contamination. E. coli, we talked about the meat. Also, it could be in sewers, in animal feces, but also in meat for the beef burger. And that could be diarrhea with a bit of blood sometimes. And it depending what type of E. coli can be more dangerous and give these problems in young infants and elderly. Listeria, the posh bacteria, delicatessen, and they like fresh cheeses, pate, salamis, and they like all of that, and they take long to manifestate, 70 days, you don't know. Pregnant women lose a baby, and they can have neurological symptoms, and elderly and young people can die as well, even convulsions. And it could last day to weeks and appears quite late. Is the latest one in appearing. A veure, that's physical things that we can lose and be a foreign body. Well, this we talk about controlling workflow, work surfaces, equipment being in good condition. Let me see. HACCP, okay. HACCP has to be monitored. This is like a little reminder, and you have to designate who is the one monitoring the fridges. What is he going to be doing? When is he going to be doing? When is he going to record it? Maybe twice a day. Or maybe I buy a little thermometer and I put it in the fridge, and that's continuous. Then download it every day into my computer. Sometimes now we have that will be a good way of monitoring temperatures for fridges. We have little testers. Yes, sometimes this can be for measuring food, but also some for leaving it in the fridge and then you download it into your computer, for example. Or otherwise, you'll need to, this can go into the computer, more modern or less modern, and then you have the recording all in there. But you have to, let's say, if I put you supervising, you have to designate somebody monitoring, and you have to supervise they do their job and keep the records for the inspectors, because has to be presented in case anything goes wrong. Now, supervisor will monitor at the end of the day, and also maybe also do other checks on the food, no? In the stock of the food. Also, we can send samples. No, we said we can send samples for verifying our food is safe. Okay, to the laboratory. doesn't cost much. All of these have to be kept in records with your corrective actions. If something goes wrong, fridge not working. The inspector is going to tell you, well, what did you did? Oh no, here, note, food was discarded in the bin, blah, blah, blah. Or I put the fridge, I cooked it immediately because it was still a taste. So I cooked it immediately. And I put it in another fridge, for example. Depending. You will have to have checks on deliveries, on your cooking, on the cleaning, pest control activities. All of these have to be kept records of it. Now, is this effective? How do you know? Well, you can have a visit of an inspector once a year to check with a checklist to make sure that your records are correct, and also sending samples away, or even checking the surfaces, okay, with my sponge. This sponge comes with a bag with sterile substance. And now this one is open. I could not use it because it's in the air. Normally come with a seal bag. And then you send it back to the laboratory. This is activities you can do for knowing that your hazard works. An internal audit, an external audit. You can do yourself a checklist, maybe once a month, okay, to make sure everything is kept correct. No complaints, no, the authorities, when you have a local authority sending an environmental health officer, if it's no problems, means your system is working. Okay, anytime that there is changes, you have to review the documentation. If you decide to do sushi, sous vide, blah, 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 you have to put a hazard for that type of food. A staff training, by law, you all have to have some type of training, depending on the job that you are going to be doing. Level 1, level 2, level 3, depending on the responsibility. Training will make the job safe and is a legal requirement. You can help developing training with these materials on the Food Standard Agency, and you can retrain if they do the wrong practices. That's it. Nothing for me. Maybe just the last, I'm sorry, but now I have to go because I have another call. But just to let you know, important thing that I forgot, when you have in a packet best before, is to do with quality.
Yeah.
And use by is to do with safety.
Yes.
Means that you can never pass the use by. You have to discard the food because the pathogenic bacteria do not leave any smell, but it could be pathogenic bacteria grown in the food. So one is safety, one is quality. You may use longer, best before. Eh?
Yes. So can you just make sure that they're gonna send me this tonight, because I don't have this and it's things I don't know.
Yes, I already going to call Maite again tonight. But yes, because the exam is tomorrow.
Yes. This qualifications network approved center, this one I have in front of me. I don't have this.
Don't worry. She knows, she's online. She will be doing it. I'll call her now, okay? I'm sorry I have to leave you there. Please read the careful question. Read it twice. Don't rush. Read it careful because two could be similar, okay?
Yes, yes.
Okay, then. Good luck for tomorrow, okay?
Thank you. Thank you.
Sorry to leave you like that, but we've done everything.
No problem.
Bye-bye then. Bye-bye.